Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are not live tonight. However, we are back with another episode of the Comics Confab. It is I, Al, along with my esteemed panelists, guests, mentors, brothers, friends, whatever. We got Chris and we have Xavier Randall.
How y'all doing?
How y'all
Good evening.
doing?
How y'all doing this evening?
I'm doing good.
Great.
Wonderful.
Great. So we came with you with a first video for Batman, the Three Jokers, a couple of weeks ago. So we're back at it again with book number 2. We took a really deep dive into book 1. We're probably going to take an even deeper dive into book 2. We hope you enjoyed that first video. If this is your first time actually watching this video, go back and watch the first one. You can listen to it while you cleaning up or cooking some chicken or whatever you know what you do. Like, share, subscribe, share the videos if you have a Batman fan in your family or friends or whatnot. But what we're going to do is go ahead and start. You see the top of Joker's head. We're going to go ahead and start on book 2. I actually had an opportunity to read part of it. I didn't get an opportunity to read it all the way through, but I've read it, but I needed to read it again to refresh myself. So I guess I'll do that tonight. So I'm sure my esteemed panelists, colleagues / brothers in comics, Chris and X, is going to fill in the gaps of anything that I missed, because they just cool like that, like diggable planets. But anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and that's right. Yeah, we do it all, y'all. So anyway, so you see the Joker right here. We're going to get to the first page of the book, and what we see is a neighborhood. Older guy walking his dog, and we are focused on one particular house in this neighborhood. So as we go on down a little bit, because there's nothing really to talk about in this, unless y'all notice something that I didn't see.
I noticed that the house looks like one of the houses in Last of Us Part 2. Like, for real.
Okay. Well, I ain't played Last of Us Part 2. Now, if it was in Ghost of Tsushima, I'd be like, yeah, that looked like one of the houses and stuff.
You ain't played it, man.
I'm waiting.
Three jokers.
Okay.
Three jokers.
We'll talk about it after the video. Okay, so what we're going to do is go ahead and skip down to the next panel. And what do we see here? We see a delivery / ice cream type vehicle, all painted in the Joker colors. And Joker purple. And it's actually pulling up to that house that was focused on. So when we get down to the third panel, we see the trademark spats and the shoes and the purple pants, and looks like he has a purple bathrobe on. But hey,
I thought you were gonna say pudding pops the way you were saying purple.
No. Pudding on a stick.
Oh Lord!
Shout out to the Cosby Show. But but so we see I can't shout out Bill Cosby, but anyway. All right, so
they gonna cut it off in the middle of this word.
Like, oh my God, we got demonetized and we ain't even got no monetization on the channel, man. It's jacked up, bro.
They're like, nope, can't be doing that.
No, you can't utter his name in any way. Like, okay. So we see the Joker getting out, which I'm like, this is crazy. Just looking at that van, because I mean, they done painted the tires, the rims.
Right, they put green rims on it. Like,
I mean, they went all out. Like,
look at the side panels.
Yeah.
Got
the green and the gold trim. That is synonymous with the Joker.
With the Joker. Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. So he gets out and he walks past the mailbox. He goes into the house and he says, "Honey, I'm home." So we find out that this is the comedian. So we scroll down a little bit more. And
look at that face.
She looked scared as hell.
That is the face of ultimate concern.
That is the face of fear too.
That is I am not okay.
That is utter disdain for everything about her life.
Mm-hmm.
Her facial expression tells a story that is spanning the ages. So, but she's actually greeting the Joker by calling him dear, and apparently the Joker didn't. She didn't expect him early, which I don't know. I'm like, okay, well,
Hey, Joker got some brain, don't he?
yeah.
I mean, you'd expect it from all the crimes he's committed.
That's a hell of a meal just to come home too early.
This is true. Go
She's
ahead.
just
I'm
sitting
sorry.
around making lobster tails and mashed potatoes and
Oh,
stuff. You know what I'm saying?
contraire, mon frere. That's not
Oh
lobster.
no. That's squid. That's squid.
Yup.
Yeah.
Squid. Yeah, that's right. Squid.
That's a struggle meal. I mean,
Chewing for days.
octopus and mashed potato. Like I ain't never
That,
heard nobody.
that's that's a crazy combination for a crazy man.
Man, yeah. I would give it that much. I would have rather seen some spam with jelly sandwiches on the plate or something. I think that would have been a little bit more crazy than octopus and mashed potato. But everyone has not had the pleasure of eating spam in their life, so we'll just move on.
Right.
So we see plates, 2 plates of food with the squid or the octopi and the mashed potatoes, and then we see a bowl with some tentacles
Hanging out.
Like, who does that? Like, I ain't even seen Japanese people do this, so, and they love
They take it straight out the tank.
Americanize everything.
Ink and all.
Right.
Right. So we see her fixing the plates and preparing the table for dinner for 2, apparently, but she says she wasn't expecting her sweetie home so early. So we go down a little bit. And the Joker's casing the joint. Smells wonderful. I'm so glad you're pleased. Kisses her. And she has a grimace on her face like, ugh, your kisses taste like sandpaper. Like, she is really disgusted with him. Like, look at her face. Like, she is
I mean, that's getting kissed by your tormentor has that effect on you.
her face. She looks like she does not want to be there. She's just so like done, defeated in the face. So Joker kisses her on her hair, and because I don't think he kissed her cheek, because he way behind the cheek, like he just kissing her hair.
He ain't. If you look at it though, he's really not kissing her. He's whispering in her ear.
Okay, I stand corrected. So Joker basically is not kissing his old lady. He's basically asking, where's Junior?
Use the term loosely, old lady.
Right. Right.
Exactly. So we go on down to the next panel, and she calls for Joker Jr. I don't know what to call him, but baby, your father's home, and he says he don't want to come down. I don't really blame him for not wanting to come down.
Look at them socks, man. Look at them socks.
That dude looked like that Dutch boy paint that does the Dutch boy. That's what he looked like. That's what I thought about. The old school 40s garb. And I thought about this too.
Forrest Gump.
No, I ain't think about Forrest Gump, but I thought about the era that Joker came out of originally.
For the comedian.
Right. And that particular style of dress was popular back then when those comics came out. So if anybody in the chat could correct me, that's what I got out of it. They were kind of like harkening back to when that particular Joker first came into
that 66 Batman.
Right. That type
kind of.
So, but yeah. So I mean, as far as it goes, Joker Jr. don't want to come down the steps. So I don't blame him, because if the Joker was my dad, I would probably be at the arcade all day and try to
gone. Nothing, run away from home.
I would be gone already.
He wouldn't know you were gone. He wouldn't be there.
Yeah, that's true. I go to Superman and say, man, can I stay with you, man? My dad is crazy, one of the things.
As long as you don't go to Batman, you're all right.
You should be okay.
He go train him how to fight.
You can go everywhere but to the Batcave.
Because Batman gonna make you a Robin.
Yeah, he gonna make him something. A fighting machine. So
Just think about how that would be if Batman turned Joker's son into a Robin after what Joker has done
hey,
to so plenty of other Robins. You know what I'm saying?
you know what though? You say that now, but give it about 5-6 years, and we find
Some.
out the Joker got an illegitimate son that's probably about to embrace his age, and he upset with the Joker because he was never in his life, and he go to Batman for training, and he get taught in the mighty powers of the bat, and he end up turning on Batman or some crazy plot twist or something. So,
I don't think the Joker would even care.
He
yeah,
would
he
find it
would.
hilarious that his son would be the new
Right.
Batman.
Right.
He would
And
get in.
he'll kill him just to piss Batman off.
Yeah, that's true.
He's like, "What, you mad? I killed my child? What you gonna do?
Right.
Let me discipline my child how I want to."
I'm only care about myself. What you think I'm gonna care about my seeds for, son?
Right.
Yeah,
Bet he won't
Right.
do it again.
right. So we're looking at I'm just for the sake of this particular segment, I'm gonna call her Trudy. So we're looking at Trudy. And Trudy's basically trying to get her son, trying to cajole him and get him downstairs. He don't want to come down because he don't want to see his dad. She says, "I'm sorry, sister, sorry, baby. I know you're upset. Your father can't but be if we don't have dinner when he gets home." So you could tell by them little bubbles right there that with them little, whatever you call this, so sorry and but be, the Joker ain't playing with her. So she's more or less like terrified, I feel, at this point, because she want Joker Jr. to come downstairs so her and Joker Jr. can sit down and eat dinner with the Joker. So yeah. Y'all got anything to add to that?
Get a Norman Rockwell feeling from the whole setting, trying to give you that, with the the old school Norman Rockwell paintings of just like the iconic Americana,
Mm-hmm.
the perfect house and the kids in the home. Like I feel like that's what they were kind of shooting for with giving you this image. Just the old guy walking his dog, and it's the nice little house, and I think there may have been a picket fence at the beginning. I don't remember, but
That WandaVision.
right, that WandaVision kind of Norman Rockwell perfect family look. But then, of course, you get inside and then you see that if you look deeper, no family is perfect or normal, obviously.
True. That's true. But needs to say she is terrified. And we scroll down to the Peter Parker lookalike, and
Right.
Man.
Right.
Okay, so what Nolan one?
that's the first thing I thought. This dude, his name is Jeter Jarker or something.
Peter Parker with freckles.
Right, with freckles.
Man.
So he basically tells his mom, why can't we just leave? Like, don't you know your dad is standing down there, like looking at you while you saying this? Like, but you don't care because apparently your dad is the terriblest person on the planet.
Man.
So I don't know if this is some type of symbolism, with him peeking through
Looking
the
like he's
rut.
behind bars.
Yeah, like he's behind bars. So I don't know if that has any type of forbearing on what to expect in the future. But he looks very concerned, and he looks like he really does not want to be there. So we scroll on down, and Mom Trudy, she's still trying to persuade him. I don't know. You're mad that he hasn't been home, but he loves us. Please come to dinner for me. I can only keep him downstairs for so long. Then,
That's the equivalent of you don't want to make me stop this car. Don't make me
right,
come back there.
that line in the old Incredible Hulk show where Bruce Banner tells Mr. McGee, Mr. McGee, don't make me angry. You wouldn't like
You
me
wouldn't
when
like me
I'm
when
angry.
I'm angry.
Yeah. But anyway, so we see Joker Jr. Kind of lamenting that he's got to go downstairs. So he finally, relents. And after Joker Sr. says, "Honey, Jr. is getting cold," so he heads downstairs.
Wish I had my spider powers.
Right, exactly. And as you can see in
Just thwip away.
Just whip away.
And as you can see in this particular panel on the left, he really doesn't want to go down. I noticed the shadow that was on the ground. I'm like, they are really trying to paint the picture that this man does not want to go downstairs and eat dinner with his dad. So
You notice the shadow doesn't match his hair.
no,
Right.
it kind of matches like one of those older versions of the Joker, like his how his hair used to
Right.
be.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like the Joker hairdo.
Hairstyle.
Right,
Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly. So I don't know, maybe that was just thrown in just to for an Easter egg, but he finally gets to where his mom can grab his hands, and
Boy, you better get down these stairs.
so she, yeah, that's what she wanted to tell him, but. So anyway, we see that he's finally made it downstairs, and they're headed to um, the kitchen table. The Joker's sitting down, didn't wash his hands or nothing. So he's laughing. We go down, and he octopus and mashed potatoes and water.
Water.
That is the oddest meal.
It's got to be something behind this whole thing, man. I
Man,
wasn't able to figure it out, and I was
a bottle
hoping.
of Pepto Bismol. That's what you're gonna be chasing it with.
Man.
You not your stomach is not gonna be happy at the end of this meal
No,
at all.
Yeah, that's just. I
You
got
notice how
Go ahead.
Junior look like Jason Todd now?
Oh wow.
Looks like a young Jason
Like when he fresh like when Batman caught him with the tire.
when he was stealing the tires off the
Yeah.
Batmobile.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he is not eating his octopi. So
I don't blame him.
Joker cutting it up, and see, this is crazy. Yeah, that big old piece of octopus, like man, this thing ain't gonna choke you. You're gonna be chewing for like till like 8 o'clock that night on that
8 o'clock tomorrow.
Because nothing against his wife, but she does not look like the best cook. And octopus is a tough thing to cook.
Right. And who's to say that it's actually cooked? It could actually be
I
raw.
was gonna say
Oh,
it's so
mighty pink.
Yeah.
Right. It's pink.
Oh,
Even lobster, when you cook that, it turned dark red. So
no, man.
I've never cooked octopus. I've had some before, but I don't know how it's supposed to look after you cook it. Mine was fried, so
Right.
they had tempura on it.
You don't know what color it was. It came out
Exactly.
gold. It was golden brown when I saw it.
Golden brown when I dipped it in that hoisin sauce. But yeah, man, it was pretty good too. It just took a minute. That's why I'm saying, like, if the fried octopus was chewy, that's got to be hella chewy right there. Like, you got to be chewing on that for like a minute. So, anyway, the Joker
You
looks
in it.
over. Say what now, Chris?
You in it at that point. You're committed. Like you know, much like with every. I mean, I guess to a degree you could look at it like that. Much like a lot of the stuff the Joker does, once he starts it, succeed or fail, he continues with it. Even if Batman shows up, he accounts for Batman showing up, and he rides out the plan no matter what happens.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing you do with octopus. Once it's on your plate and you done got it on your fork, you in it. Like this is.
Oh no, I'm aboard mission.
You and me both.
I'm
Especially
aboard
if you
mission.
like that, man. I'm like, hey, man, I'm going to Crystal, man. Y'all want some
Man.
sunrises or something?
Send me to my room. I'd rather listen to my stomach growl and bubble all night than eat this crap.
Man, I'll drink water. I'll have water sandwiches all night.
Water sandwiches, man. Slushes and everything.
Man.
Ice cubes.
Ice lasagna, something.
I wouldn't even eat the it's funny. It's completely out of subject, but this is what we talked about before the show, y'all. We're talking about how some people can't eat when they food touch. I was just about to say I would eat the mashed potatoes and drink the water, but then I thought about it, like it'll have octopi juice all over it, so I can't do it.
Oh, you got octopus seafood flavored mashed
I can't
potatoes.
do it. Nope.
Yeah, I just this was, if I was him, this would be the time I run away.
If there was ever a moment for me to rebel,
So
now's the time.
I'm flipping tables.
how raw those tentacles look. What if they stuck to the fork while you were trying to bite it? Like, would you stop eating it, or would you just have that awkward moment of trying to?
I mean, little known fact, but that actually is what happens when they cut up octopus when it's served raw and as a part of like sushi or whatever. Once soy sauce actually hits it, the salt that's in soy sauce causes the tendons to tighten up, and so the tentacle actually reacts and coils up like it's still alive, but it's not. But the soy sauce causes it to coil up like it's still alive.
And they've actually had situations depending upon the size. I saw this on a video on YouTube where the tentacles can actually lodge in their throat if they don't chew it because the suction cups they trying to stick to some.
They get stuck inside on the inside of your esophagus.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I know that's why mine was fried. But
it's a dangerous meal.
Yep, dangerous.
So maybe that was also implied too in the aspect that the Joker's eating octopus as a meal because it's a dangerous meal to eat. It's not one of them. You didn't go to Church's Chicken to get this. You didn't stop at your local Kroger.
You better loosen his bow tie then.
Yeah, that bow tie look kind of tight too, but maybe
you like living dangerous.
It might help get the octopus down smooth. I don't know. So
swallow some of that hell.
Yeah.
Something.
So
look at her face. Look at her face.
she looks very dejected. Like, I don't know why I laid up with you and got pregnant, but I regret. I should have dated that black dude, but I didn't give him the time of day.
I don't think she had any say so in that matter.
None whatsoever.
Maybe not, but she looked very, very, very disgusted. So, but the Joker asked him, "What's going on with you? Why the long face? Nothing, Dad." Well, in reality, that man wanted to bolt so bad. You can see it in his face, and his mama want to run after him too. But she says octopus isn't his favorite. That's all. He's been a very good boy, honey.
It's the face of a woman that wants you to choke at dinner.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Like if he just dropped dead right there, she'd probably dance over his body,
Hope that octopus strangle you to death.
Right. So we see the actual dinner continuing, and he's basically chiming in after she says he's been a good son. The Joker says, "Have you? That's terrific, son. Here, let me turn that frown upside down." And here comes another one of those corny jokes that we got from the last book. So
the dad joke supreme.
Yeah. What do you call octopus triplets that look exactly alike? Identical. That was kind of funny though, a little bit though.
I was gonna say I did chuckle the first time I read it. But it was one of them. God, this is so lame. It's so lame. It's funny. You know what I'm saying?
Super dad joke.
Identical. Yeah, that, I ain't gonna lie. That was better than that last one in the previous book. So
yeah, I will give you that.
Yeah. So of course he's gonna laugh at his own jokes while he's scarfing down some dry-looking mashed potatoes. And says, "Well, you get it, don't you? Trademark laugh." And next thing you know, fade to the present, and the Joker's eating some of them lighthouse sardines. Actually, he's eating cat food.
Cat food.
He's eating cat food. His meal didn't get any better. Just for the record, the meal didn't get any better. We had mashed potatoes with octopus and water. And in reality, he was eating a can of Meow Mix.
Frisky Vittles or whatever you call it.
Right. It didn't get no better.
And I'm going to tell you something. It's amazing, man, rereading stuff, because I actually read halfway up to the end of the book before, we started the video. I did not take notice that was a cat till I saw that cat face looking real sad. Cat face. Like, I don't want to be in this man's hands. Like, plus if he's cat food. So this dude is eating cat food. And then the other, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Look, this one thing about this book, like, I always read through and everything again, but if you notice, this book is way less talking than the first book.
Yeah,
it's more visual, right? But think about this: if you look at some of the older the previous panels and whatnot, one consistent thing that I've noticed in both books so far is the attention to the eyes at the beginning of the stories.
Mm-hmm.
And then this really shows you how crazy all of the Jokers are, because This is the comedian, right?
Right.
We just started off with this big elaborate welcome home skit that took place in his mind,
Mm-hmm.
full-fledged conversations, his child wanting to run away, his wife stuttering. Like, this man
None of it is
is
real.
It's
right. He just
vivid.
sits there and think about beating his wife and kid and holding them hostage basically while he's laughing at everything. And all the while, this man sitting here talking to beat up dummies and torn up stuffed animals and eating cat food.
In
It's
his own mind, it's
right.
totally okay to
Yeah.
have regular thoughts to have.
And then who sits up under a fan with only two blades? Good night.
It's got to be the most annoying fan in history.
Man,
You
the
kidding.
wobble on it. Just think about the wobble.
The mind of a madman. Y'all bring up
Yeah.
some interesting points because that whole that was more vivid than a dream. Because I mean, just
Mm-hmm.
go through all
Yeah.
the fact that he actually was sitting there and he was daydreaming the fact that his son didn't even want to come downstairs
Right.
and eat dinner with him. That's just a testament to the insanity that he actually
It's a
possesses.
it's a definite eye-opening look into the Joker's psychosis, because when most people have fantasies of another life, that other life is always happy. The sun is always shining. It's Pleasantville. Everything is great.
Yeah.
But for him to actually be sitting there and having these extremely vivid dreams or thoughts of this other life, and even in this other life, there is an aspect of his psyche that is still not happy with who he is.
Right. Like
Speaks
you make a
volumes
joke.
to the Joker.
You make a joke and you are in full control of whether these people laugh at the joke or not, and they still don't laugh in your
Right.
mind. You crazy.
You are crazy.
Yeah, literally, you crazy. I would have had them dying laughing like they had some
Dying.
Joker gas.
But
Oh
again,
no.
that talks to either both the son and the wife could both be, you know, having them there in a dream could be representations of parts of his psyche that are, that fear him, that he doesn't, that he's trying to win over by doing this kind of, by trying to get them, by sitting down and having meals with them and talking with them and having this family thing, could be parts of his psyche that he's trying to win over, so that way, in his own way, to make them like him.
I got a
I got a
question.
quick question. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
If y'all look at the panel right up under this one, right? If you look at the two Jokers, so you got the comedian and the criminal.
Mm.
Both of them have different variations of a bow tie on.
Mm.
Do y'all remember the clown having on a bow tie from the first one?
I don't think he did.
I don't think he does. Or if he does,
It's like
it's
a
a different
small
type of,
one.
it's a definitely smaller bow tie if he
Yeah.
does.
Or did all three of them wear just a regular tie in the first one?
That's a great question, man. You got me thinking.
Well, because the other one was when he first showed up, was always in the tourist shirt.
That's right.
For a while he was always in the tourist shirt because he was the Joker that shot Barbara.
Right.
But then, later on he had on the
Because that's
suit.
him at the table right now.
Huh.
The comedian. That's the one that shot Barbara, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
So that's him sitting down with this super duper bow tie on. This.
Oh, you know what? I just pulled it up. I don't know if I'm able to. He actually had a long tie on.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, he had a long tie. That when he got shot by Jason Todd, he had a long
Mhm.
tie like that came down like this, like a
Okay.
necktie. Yeah. That's interesting. So all
It's
of them
just something real small that I
The small
noticed just then.
details.
Yeah.
okay. Well, as X put it, he is the criminal came on the scene. He was asking the comedian, like, what's going on? What are you doing? Who are you talking to? Which in actuality, the other Joker should have actually known that, I'm thinking, knowing the type of individual that the comedian is, but of course, for dialogue's sake, he had to ask. So, you know, he didn't finish his cat food. So he said he was talking to himself. Now, at that point, that particular panel, it looks like he's kind of like unhappy over the fact that his daydream got cut short. At least to me.
They both look unhappy in their own ways. Like, you know, the comedian looks unhappy that his fantasy was interrupted, but then the criminal looks unhappy that the comedian is even wasting time with it.
Wasting time. Yep.
Like he says, it's like you're wasting time coming back here. Like he's really frustrated with the fact. He's like, why are you even entertaining? It's more like he's upset with the fact that there is a version of him that's even trying to entertain the idea that they could have had a normal life
of being happy.
That's what's it looks like that. It kind of seems like that's what's making him angry.
Oh man, that's an interesting thought, because I never thought about that. Is you're
Like,
right.
You know, he's like, you know, we could never have a normal life, so why are you wasting time fantasizing about it? And that's what I get from it, because they're both upset in their own ways, but the criminals seems to be more upset because it's just like you are literally wasting time on something you can absolutely never have because of who you are.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. So you're looking at the criminal, he's looking at the mannequin, and the comedian says, don't touch her. The criminal says, there is no her.
He meant that don't touch her too.
Yeah.
Oh man,
he meant that.
He was serious about that.
He said, do not touch her. He didn't even abbreviate it. Do not. That word not is like, look, man, you better get your hands on my old lady, or I'm going to go school on your head. You know,
that is a man who has seen Mannequin more than 2 times.
not including the sequel.
Mannequin 2.
Oh, man, yeah, he looked kind of frustrated and everything. So, but then here comes the criminal. And not the criminal. Yeah, the criminal.
Yeah, it's a criminal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the criminal basically breaks it back down and brings them back to reality. There is no one else but the Batman. So he says it was your idea to let him in our little secret, to give him a trail to follow, to make it more fun. Now one of us is dead. So the criminal is pissed. And it just so happens that the mannequin, when it falls in a similar fashion when it hits the ground as the clown.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So we skip to the crime scene, and this man has bled out. He has no blood left in his body, I don't think. And Jason Todd's work basically left him with a smile on his face still. So we go from panel to panel. The first panel shows somewhat of almost a full body shot of the clown. And it continues to fragment into different panels.
Hexagons.
Thank you, hexagons. That is exactly what it is. You're a smart man. Hexagons, and then it keeps magnifying and magnifying. And you start seeing certain things that you would not have normally saw.
It's amazing. Little stuff.
Yeah.
Little stuff.
The blood.
Because it's not a bird's eye view.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's a fly's eye view. That's dope.
Exactly. And that didn't dawn on me until they started like the next panel. So they see carry on now. They see food. They see a host. So the flies are actually, if you didn't know, they come to roost.
Mm-hmm.
They come to lay some maggots. So this actually gives me the impression, which is pretty much what happened. They just left them in there. They didn't call the cops. They didn't call the coroner. Nobody.
You gotta think about it. You know Jason ain't gonna call the cops.
But see, my thing is,
Right, like,
with Barbara being so sanctimonious in the first issue,
that's true. You think she would have called?
right? Because she was trying to be that voice of reason, remember? And then all of a sudden, here come the flies. Flies, hey man,
Body just been.
Rigor mortis.
And one of them, it was that fly that landed on Pence. You know, it was like, hey man,
I'm here to stay. I'm here to stay.
I'm hanging on your every word.
Hey man,
we parlaying now.
Right, we good, man. We good for a few days, brother. Cause ain't nobody coming to pick this dude up, man. Won't you call Earl and them, man? We about to have a good time, man. So here comes one fly, then here come two flies, and then three flies, and then you know it's a wrap for him definitely now because they about to go to town and do what they do naturally. So
right. But you would think somebody would have the cops. Somebody would have called. I know Jason wouldn't have, but like you said, Barbara was there. You think she would have told Batman, and then he would have called the police to get the Joker. You know, for somebody to come get the body, so the body's not just fly food.
But see, this is the thing that I found very odd about this. So you know, she was pretending like she didn't want Jason to kill the Joker, and we all know what happened with the Batarang and all that kind of stuff. So of course he leaves, and we're gonna get into that in a minute. She leaves too, but why you didn't call the police? You know, we got the Joker down, such and such, Gotham Aquarium. We need the coroner to come out, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
I guess the reason why she didn't do it was because she wanted to let Bruce know first.
Yeah, that was her main thing. In my
Man.
like when I saw her leave, I was like, yo, that's all she wanted to do is get back to Bruce. You know what I'm saying?
That safety net. Bruce would bring her back down and bring it to reality.
I think it would have been real odd. She might have accidentally slipped up and be like, hey, Dad, Commissioner Gordon, we got a body here. And you know what I'm saying? She emotional right there.
Right. And I still can't figure out how he can't tell that's his daughter, man. Like, that Kyle ain't covering everything, man.
Man, there's a million redheads in Gotham, don't you know?
What if he looked at her and like, that's a hot little lady right there?
Yeah, you know, lusting after his his daughter and stuff.
Right.
Like I said, I like to think it's a matter of parental blindness because most parents look at their kid and it's like, my kid couldn't do something my kid wouldn't do something like that. And so I don't think it's so much that he doesn't know that it's her, but he makes the parental block of just like, my kid would never jump from rooftop to rooftop.
Y'all can't even tell who I am right now. Can't even tell. Look.
It's X.
Oh my God! Where did X go?
Man, I'm talking about
his house.
It's amazing. That swirl, that Superman swirl.
Oh God, it's not the S is not Lord.
Hey man, we'll have to devote a show on that. You'll have to educate
the secret identities. We're gonna have to do a secret identity show.
I'm still trying to figure that out. This dude look the same with glasses or with eyeglasses. That's just like me. If I gained superpowers and I was on national TV with a mask on and I started talking, oh hell, that's Al, man. Come on. Y'all gonna know it's me. You know, unless I got a voice change or something or whatnot, and you still gonna be like, he look familiar, man. Like he walked like that dude. He got mannerisms like Al, man. Oh man, Al got superpowers now, man. Let me hit that joke up on Instagram. You know, something
like y'all ain't never noticed that Batman and Bruce Wayne had the same exact mold in the same exact place.
Same exact.
I never noticed that. Y'all ain't never that.
The same build.
Right. All right.
The same walk.
Yeah, I never noticed how.
Yeah, we'll have to do a whole episode on secret identity because there's a whole.
Yeah, it's a lot to unpack with that though, for real.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman.
Well, you know, Wonder Woman, I don't think her identity is secret though.
It used to be for a while.
Oh, it was?
Yep.
She put her hand in a ponytail and put on some glasses.
And wore a white jumpsuit.
Right.
Became a secret agent. Diana Prince.
Right.
Stop being Wonder Woman for a while.
I like to see her spin like she did in the 70s, man.
That Linda Carter.
Bro, I love Linda Carter, man. But anyway, let's go on to the story. All right. So
Dogs.
okay. So we skipping from the all you could eat Joker Fest at the aquarium to another scene. It's a crime scene. So we see, of course, it's raining. It's forever raining in Gotham City.
Sun don't shine in Gotham.
Sun don't shine.
Apparently, it don't shine. Like, how do y'all grow grass? Like, for real? But
Poison ivy.
Looks like they're
Exactly.
Exactly. Good answer. Good answer.
Poison ivy with a touch of swamp thing.
The
Yep.
green. The green.
That's what that is.
So we fast forward and we go to another section of town where they're at some brownstones, and apparently the police are out there on the scene. And the first thing he says is, "That's not the Joker." So we go to the next panel and we see a bunch of hoof and harfing and all that kind of stuff. Beware of dog. So we're giving them the implication that those are dogs in the window.
I ain't never heard a dog go hoof.
Neither. Like, if you really like hoof hoof harf, harf.
I ain't never heard a dog go
Even if
hoof.
you said it in a dog, hoof hoof harf harf, that sound like Solomon Grundy or something. You know,
It's almost like they forgot what they were trying to say.
Right.
Like they were trying to draw out howling, and then said, "Well, they woof." You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, I would have been more convinced with just wolf.
Harf.
Right.
Or
it almost sounds like they were trying to make the dogs do that 300 howl, that ow.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
And then they just
they kick a messenger in the chest.
This is Gotham.
Hoof hoof harf
Hoo 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 harf harf. Hoo hoo harf harf harf.
That does not sound like what a dog.
Hoo
If the
hoo
dog,
harf
if
harf.
he's doing all that, he about to talk. Like,
He working it out.
Right.
He working it out. He getting his vowels together.
Now he's Caesar from Planet of the Apes.
After that,
And sometimes why?
Right. After that last high, he's gonna say, "Hello, how are you
Hello.
today?" Like, my name is Periwinkle. You know,
Right.
My good man, if you would be so good as to remove the dead body. Old chum.
Man, it's crazy, man. But anyway, we see the dogs in the window. And of course, the police officer gonna ask a dumb question: "Dogs? Should we go?"
Well, I mean, if you heard that noise, would you assume it was a dog?
Well, I mean, it says "beware a dog" on the post.
That don't. It's Gotham. That don't mean nothing.
Unless it's were-demon dogs,
Right? Like
devil dogs. I don't
be
know.
hyenas in there. It's Gotham. Beware a dog is a loose term.
Yeah, you're right. There got all kind of stuff going on. You're absolutely right.
There could be Joker sharks and Joker piranhas behind them glasses.
Hey, I got a question for y'all, man. This is non-related story question, but it's in reference to Gotham. If Gotham City existed in real life, like just say we lived in the world of DC Comics, and somebody say, "Hey, man, I got a sweet job for you, man.
Ain't enough money on this planet."
I don't know. What's the job?
I didn't get it out yet, Chris.
Oh.
I'm not moving to Gotham.
Chris has already said no.
Am I home before the sun goes down?
9 to 5 job. 9 to 5 job. You working in maybe computer software. You making 300 a year.
Means you can die by Firefly or Mr. Freeze. Nope.
I'm
thinking about that thing.
I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it.
Mm-mm.
You think about it. Most of the crime that happens in Gotham is at night.
That don't.
That you think about it though. Nothing ever happened when Bruce Wayne is Bruce Wayne.
Look at here.
So I'm finna be working during the daytime.
The Joker do stuff during the day too, but the Joker is random. You could
He ain't coming to me at Best Buy messing with me.
You could get robbed because it could be the Best Buy you work at could be the second Best Buy to ever open, and it's now the second Tuesday on its second anniversary, and Two-Face busting there to steal a 60-inch.
But I ain't gotta worry about nothing.
When have you ever seen Two-Face show up to do something and innocent bystanders, at least one innocent bystander, don't get hurt?
First of all, if Two-Face came in there, he gonna be battling with himself. First of all, trying to decide if he gonna kill somebody. And as soon as I see that coin flipping, I'm out. Okay, he giving you an opportunity. No,
I'm just not moving to Gotham. I'm not taking the risk.
Your supervisor gonna say, Xavier, you didn't clock out, sir. You need to come.
Yep.
I need you
Bring your butt back in here, buddy.
Hey, you know what I'm gonna text back? Hey, do a time edit for me. You got the power.
I'm not moving to Gotham, man.
And that's just like the Riddler. I got Google. Let me answer this. Okay, there's your answer right there. Bye bye.
So Chris is a nay, Xavier is a yay. Okay.
Get some of this Bruce Wayne money.
Yeah. All right. So basically, you looking at the cop asking, basically something that he should know, that there are dogs in the brownstone. Should we go check it out, and Commissioner Gordon says no, he's already inside. No,
I feel like even if Batman wasn't, he'd be like, no, we're not going in there.
Well, I'm good.
No, referring to Batman. Now,
them is some. But see, seeing that they're Jokerized, it makes the noises make more sense now, I guess.
Yes, yes, that's right, because they're trying to laugh.
Right.
I didn't think about that.
So it makes the sounds make more sense. They're dogs trying to laugh. Harf, 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 harf,
Man, I
harf.
just slapped my knee on that one. I never thought about that when I read this the first or the second time. The dogs are actually trying to laugh.
They've been Jokerized, so for them, they're attempting to laugh.
Oh wow, that makes sense now.
But dogs can't laugh.
What? I got a question though. Why did the light change color? Look in the middle
because
panel.
of the police lights.
The police lights. Yeah, those are the police lights.
Okay.
Because if you scroll, you see it on the other panel too. I think when you scroll up, you see that they change from red to blue.
And see, they didn't
so
have
it's supposed to be showing the police lights.
Right. They didn't have to do that, but it's just that subtlety that like
subtlety.
Subtlety. I'm saying the B. You're right, though. Subtlety. I don't know why the B is silent, but anyway.
That's what he was looking for. Those subtle little things tossed in to show movement.
Hey, that
to
lasagna.
show time changing.
Hey man, I say lasagna.
We eat that lasagna.
Why you even say? Just like
Bologna.
Salmon.
Exactly. Bologna. Bologna. But you say
Bologna.
It's Bologna. Just like Knights of the Round Table should be Knight. Because there's a K at the beginning. Like no should be Kano. K-N-O-W.
I mean,
I'm just saying.
The Django.
That's African. That's different.
That makes it okay. I love that.
We going into a whole other aspect.
Oh,
that's a whole other video too.
Exactly. All right.
Superheroes in English.
Yep, in English. So we see the dogs and they're actually going ham. They trying to laugh. They got blood all on the window and stuff. And then here comes the Dark Knight.
The Tim Burton.
Right. So the dogs, hold up. Somebody behind us. Exactly. So they turn around and Batman, this dude has no fear at all. Like he's like the Daredevil of DC Comics with.
Man, you see all them bruises from that first issue?
I know. No, I'm just saying though. It's like, bro, I don't know, man. Like I'd have to pop a cap and all these dogs and stuff. But he didn't do that, huh? Say what now?
End it real quick. Just quick way out.
Put them out their misery, man. I mean, that's what they gonna do anyway. So we go down.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then next thing you know, nobody's at the door. I mean, at the window. Batman comes, he strides to this, call animal control.
What they gonna do?
sedated. Like, come on, man.
Really, like, what happens when they get the animal? Because he just sedated them. He didn't cure them. So what happens when they get to animal control and they wake up?
They gonna
put them down. Yeah.
He could have done that, but I guess
Right, like
ain't no dog murderer, so I don't.
Save the taxpayers some money, Batman.
He doesn't kill
dogs.
Okay.
No, he won't kill. But he might as well kill you because the debt from your hospital bill from getting beat up by Batman will just it ain't worth it.
It's a lasting memory. You know what I'm saying? You learned your lesson.
I'm not gonna tangle with that dude again. He's too.
Tell that to the Batman. The one henchman who permanently has a batarang sticking out of his head?
No,
Yeah.
Go talk to the guy that Jason Todd knocked all his teeth out.
Man, I can get fake teeth. Doctors can't remove a razor sharp batarang stuck in my skull.
Oh, so you talking about Spawn? They still ain't removed that. They literally grew around it.
Dang.
Oh man.
Batman opened up the door. Say what, X? What'd you say?
I thought I was thinking to myself, but it came out. I was finna say I need to get a better copy of that book. That Batman Batman and Spawn.
I might have an extra copy. I'll check.
I don't wore the spine out on that one.
Is that the one with Spawn and Batman like posing in the superhero pose?
Like they jumping, yeah.
I think I got an extra one. If so, I'll check. I'll let you know.
Bet.
But so Batman comes to the door. He says, "Call animal control," and he says, "Are they?" And then he says, "Sedated. They won't be biting anyone." And then they show a set of false teeth next to a cordless phone.
A Nokia phone. That I don't care what nobody said. That ain't no cordless. That's a Nokia.
That's indestructible.
That's that tick 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 ringtone.
And the voicemail came on. If you'd like to make a call, please hang up. Well, that ain't the voicemail. That's when the phone's off the hook. So let's see here. No one can help him, Gordo? And it says guy was mauled by his own dogs, not before he was exposed to the same toxins the men at Arkham were. That's gotta be.
Yeah, that's a double. So the Joker infects the dogs and the guy in order to kill the guy, obviously. But then while the guy is dying from the Joker toxin, he gets mauled by his dogs who are also infected by the Joker toxin. And they say he was mauled, but it looks like all they did was eat off his head, which is a whole nother just like what is
whole nother level.
Yeah.
I got a question.
So
earlier to your question that was asked, is it an overnight restaurant like Steak and Shake or like Waffle House?
Waffle House.
Cause you notice they don't nobody ever mess with them. You ever notice that? When the last time you seen a Waffle House or Crystal get blown up in Gotham?
People gotta eat. Nobody mess with the food supply.
They probably don't have Waffle Houses in Gotham.
White Castle.
If Gotham
they probably have
up north.
They probably have diners in
Huddle House. Denny's.
Yeah, I would say a Denny's or some type of mom and pop diner, but
I mean, they might still have a Shoney's. Time periods in Gotham change.
Yeah, that's true. Waffle House is a southern staple for the most part.
Right.
I want to take a trip to up the road to go to Shoney's to eat breakfast again, man.
Oh, in Forsyth? Yeah, that would be very nice. You do that one day, man. Try to meet up everybody. But okay, so the man has gotten his face ate off. And they went to work on him because that's a lot of blood for just his face to be eaten off. So they had to hit some carotid arteries or some jugulars or something. Matter of fact, they did him bad because they just threw a towel over his head. So Batman is saying, He was exposed to the same toxins as the men were in Arkham. He's doing his detective work because he's kneeling. And then Gordon says, so it wasn't the Joker who was spotted, it was Judge Walls. But why go after him? He retired years ago. So we scroll on down. Batman says he didn't retire, Jim. He was forced out. He was dirty, taking bribes from the old Arkham officials to send criminals to the asylum, where security was loose. Judge Walls was responsible for Arkham's revolving door, which, at this particular point, kind of explains a lot in reference to various plot holes as it pertains to why. I think we talked about this on the last one. I'm not sure. But how is it that the Joker can be interred in Gotham Asylum so many times? And I know he's escaped many times.
Multiple times.
But the way he's escaped, apparently it would have been something aside from his wits, because so the Joker's been admitted in Gotham Asylum so many times, they should know how he rolls. They should know his MO and how he operates. So I think this is kind of like explaining, like, in addition to the Joker being crafty, in addition to the Joker being a cunning individual, this particular judge kind of was a catalyst in helping a lot of the inmates escape or get off, or get, suspended or lighter sentences and stuff. So that kind of makes sense to me, because I'm like, man, how in the world can this dude constantly get locked up and he's forever escaping? Like, I just need to dig a hole in the ground and just drop him in it,
Do something.
Right.
How is it that he kept getting bribed when it costs more and more money to keep locking these same individuals up every single time?
Well, I mean, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, did he get a C note every time they brought the Joker back?
Well, if you think about it, I mean, that whole situation with the judge wouldn't only be inclusive to the Joker. That would be the Riddler, that'd be the Penguin,
right?
Two-Face, that'd be any crime family in Gotham. So this man's probably getting money from all different directions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he was getting.
So that's for them to go in.
Well, I mean, he says he was dirty, taking bribes from the old Arkham officials to send criminals to the asylum. Yeah, you're right. But then he says where security was loose. So it's kind of like contradictory. Like, they sent him there, but just because they sent him there don't mean they're going to stay.
That's why I was like, is he getting a cut every single time they lock him up?
Probably, because you figure he's getting paid from, say, Jeremiah Arkham runs Arkham Asylum. So then he pays the judge to send inmates to Arkham, because Jeremiah Arkham is getting paid by the state for every inmate in the asylum. But then he's also getting paid by, say, because Arkham is so easy to escape from. See, let's say the Falcones are paying him to send their henchmen there because they know how easy it is to bribe somebody at Arkham to get their guy back out. So you figure on an easy day, on a judge in an 8-hour shift sitting on a bench sentencing, he sees 30 people, 15 of them go to Arkham. He get paid $100 a person. That's $1,500 sitting on the bench.
Yeah, I get that, but at the same time, you as, like, let's say Falcone paying to get the same henchman out, you just throwing money away.
Well, I mean, then that's on Falcone. Like, if your same henchmen keep getting arrested, you might want to hire a better class of henchmen.
Exactly.
Or go to Batman and be like, look, bro, don't lock him up. Just whoop his ass. You know what I'm saying? Just make it where he can't walk and he got to go to the hospital and his family got to pay for it, not me. Do it like that. Don't lock him up.
Yeah, it could be. He was just like Chris said, he was just getting money. I mean, anytime you got a racket going on, man, most times jokers don't care how they getting the money as long as they getting it.
Right. As long as they getting it.
So,
but I mean, that brings up an interesting point that I talked about with my wife when we were talking about Batman and Arkham. And I think we touched on it last time. It's like, when you're these books basically focus around the psychosis of the Joker, with there being 3 of them. But it also, when you look at it, touches on Batman's psychosis also, because when you look at Gotham, one of the things that you usually always hear, like in the background stories of a comic book, is how Bruce Wayne's philanthropy or the Wayne Enterprises philanthropy has paid for this or paid for this or housed this many people or put jobs upon this many people or whatever. Like 90% of Gotham is funded by Wayne Enterprises easily, and all of it has top-notch, state-of-the-art, next-level security to keep it from ever getting robbed or broken into or whatever. Why don't Bruce overhaul the security system at Arkham to make Arkham as secure as any Wayne building? Because if he did, Batman wouldn't have anything to do. It's a weird dichotomy on that whole situation, because if Arkham becomes unescapable, and so then Batman's not chasing the Joker down every other weekend, and they aren't hiring henchmen to come do jobs, and the Riddler can't get out, and Two-Face can't get out, and next thing you know, everybody's actually staying in prison, staying in Arkham, staying inside, potentially getting rehabilitated. What is Batman doing every night after a while?
I mean, so technically, kind of to answer your question is the court. You know, the Court of Owls.
Yeah, but see, Dan, at least if it was the court that was breaking them out, I would feel better about the situation. Because it's like, Bruce, you literally have the money to reform Arkham Asylum, to make it better, to keep them from escaping. So then you could at least say, because you know his thing is, I'm doing my part because he's Batman. Batman's always doing his part. But it's like, are you doing as much as you could be doing?
No, not the court is breaking them out. The court is what's keeping Bruce Wayne from allowing it to be the security to be amped up, because then he'll own everything instead of, because you got to think about it. That's one of the main reasons why they really want him, is because he's part of the Wayne legacy. You know what I'm saying? When you think Gotham, you think Wayne family. You don't think the rest of the families. You see what I'm saying?
It's a weird psychology behind the whole situation, because the reality is, you know, with Bruce, you know, if they really wanted to shut him down, because they know he's Batman, if they really wanted to shut him down, they could expose him and get him out of the way from being a problem for them, stopping them from doing what you know what I'm saying. So in the world of Batman, it's one of those things that a lot of stuff happens because people really do want it to happen to a degree.
True, but like, I agree with what you're saying, but he can also turn around and expose them.
I mean, they are on an even power kill, so it would end up being a power struggle. But in the end, he may end up losing more with the people finding out that Bruce Wayne is Batman.
I think he'll be all right, though. He'll just go somewhere else and still be
well, yeah. I mean,
a billionaire.
Unless they freeze his assets like they did No Man's Land and blamed Bruce Wayne for the earthquake and, made him a fugitive and all that stuff. The government straight turned on Bruce. Yeah, Al, during the No Man's Land storyline, when Gotham got hit by like a 9-point whatever earthquake, the only buildings that survived were Wayne Enterprise buildings, because he had them earthquake proofed, because he went and got a seismologist to study Gotham and bedrock and all this other stuff. So when it hit, and the government basically was just like, well, they blamed Bruce for the earthquake and cut Gotham off from the rest of the world and made it a no man's land, because he didn't do anything to protect the rest of Gotham. He only earthquake proofed his properties.
He he took Wakanda and put different area codes in it.
Right, like
different boroughs. No, you ain't going.
Yeah, like he earthquake proofed all of the buildings owned by Wayne Enterprises, knowing that eventually this earthquake would hit, and did nothing to like prepare the rest of Gotham or prevent the earthquake or anything to try to help the other people. But then when the government was just like, we're not going to send funding, he was all mad, like, how come you aren't going to help us? So it's Gotham's with Bruce is a weird kind of, I don't know.
Bruce Wayne also be like, bitch, I built all of this for y'all. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Y'all gonna come to me to rebuild it anyway, so what are you talking about? If I rebuild y'all's and mine, I ain't gonna have no money.
But
crazy.
That's
I use the same concrete that y'all do. Just I use more.
Right. I just use more of it.
Okay.
Exactly. It's when you start thinking about how Gotham works, it really gets a little interesting that these criminals are breaking out all the time, and Batman's just like, Arkham should hold them better. You should help them.
But then he wouldn't have a job.
Don't nobody pay Batman. He does this free. Like,
Hey,
ain't nobody.
but see, you think about it though, he would literally go crazy because because Bruce Wayne is the mask. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I know.
So if he ain't got nobody to fight no more, he just sitting there like, what?
I mean, ain't that for what the Justice League's for? I mean, if Gotham is safe, that means he can
He's
go
got
around
right.
other cities. Like he can go to
He can go help the Flash.
Hamlet County in next to Gotham and fight crime there. I mean, you know,
He can go to Keystone City, Central City, help the Flash.
yeah,
Beat up the rogues.
yeah.
Take down Mirror Master one time.
He'll be mad. He'll be bored with them though.
I
Like
mean,
you throw a boomerang at me one more time, you finna catch this batarang one time.
Just boomerangs and batarangs just all over the street.
Right.
if he wanted to fight crime, I mean, crime is abundant. I mean,
Everywhere.
he can go to Dakota.
Oh, he can't. No, Batman can't go to Dakota. Batman can't go. Batman might not come back.
If I were Batman, I'd just go to Themyscira. I just go there. I'll let them beat up on me all day, every day. You think
Batman
about it.
he can retire to Fawcett City. There ain't no crime in Fawcett City.
Nope.
Fawcett.
He can go him and Billy Bassett and eat ice cream and milk cows all day.
That's it.
And
The worst threat the Fawcett City got is Mr. Mind, and that's a worm.
right.
And,
the trains don't run on time.
Right. Maybe Dr. Savannah every now and then, and that's it.
You might be late.
Because Black Adam is the foe to everybody now, so you know he just don't fight your thing. So. All right, so we get back to the story, and after
thick Batgirl action figure.
Yep. After Batman gives his diatribe about the judge, and it was a revolving door at Arkham. Commissioner Gordon says not that much has changed when it comes to the Joker. And then here we go. Everything's changed, Commissioner. Batgirl? I'm going to say this. I'm going to leave it alone. They drew Batgirl kind of thick. I ain't going to even lie, for real. Like, she got Chun-Li hips from, like, Street Fighter and stuff. So, but I'm going to leave that alone.
She breaking treadmills.
Man, she is breaking treadmills, so she ought to have some glutes and calves and thighs and stuff for days. So, but, Commissioner Gordon says, Batman said you were escorting one of the three Jokers to Arkham.
Was.
And she has a blank stare on her face. I need to talk to Batman privately. And Commissioner Gordon said, did the Joker escape? No.
Technically.
Yeah, he escaped to another plane.
He ain't with us no more.
Nah, not on this earth.
He escaped from this reality.
He surely is. But then Batman asks, where's Red Hood? Commissioner Gordon says, you're after him too?
Not yet.
Red Hood's not a criminal, Jim. And then here come Batgirl. See, now this is what I didn't like about this whole conversation.
Niche. Just
I was thinking the next, like, not to spoil it for anybody, but the next couple pages, I'm just like, what is the problem? Like, I get what the problem is. Don't get me wrong, but I'm sitting here like,
what is your problem?
What did you really expect anything else from him?
Right, like what in Red Hood's past led you to believe that once the Joker started poking him, that anything else was gonna happen based off of this situation?
And then what in the Red Hood's and Batman's past made you think that Batman was just gonna cut him off?
Not only that, fellas, but just based on what happened in the last issue, she had every opportunity to prevent that from happening.
Oh yeah.
So why are you now wanting to paint Red Hood in this light that what he did was also wrong? Because you could have stopped him, just like he said. She could have easily incapacitated him, but she didn't.
Right.
So she's just as culpable as he is in regards to what he did.
But why is she surprised that he did it?
That's a great question.
That's what it boiled down to. Why are you surprised that he did that? He took over like all the crime families in a night just to get Batman's attention. You know what I'm saying? If he ain't scared to kill them, you think he gonna be afraid to kill the Joker, who killed him? Come on now.
I just found this whole thing with her, especially with the look on her face, I just found it insanely hypocritical for her to be in that position to where she want to call him a criminal when, like I said, she had every opportunity to stop him and she didn't. You know, so if your moral compass was on the right track at that point, then you would have done what she needed to do at that point in time. They could be still fighting and duking it out right now to save the life of the Joker, but nope, she there snitching on the Red Hood, but you just as much to blame because you could have stopped it. Matter of fact, you made a half-ass attempt to do it, and you didn't do it.
She could have backhanded the Joker while he was talking.
Right. Instead of she could have thrown the batarang and moved the Joker at the same, like throw the batarang and then dodge it. You know, I feel like this is one of them situations where it's like with siblings, both of y'all were playing in the living room, and technically both of you were the reason why the lamp broke.
Right.
One of you went to your mama first to try to ease your trouble that you might be in order to snitch on your other sibling.
Right. Because the only thing that she's not actually responsible for was pulling the trigger, but she was there.
Just as responsible. Right.
And she was just as complicit as the Red Hood was.
You didn't try to stop him. You didn't shut the Joker. You could have punched the Joker, knocked him unconscious to stop him from talking and poking the bear.
Right.
You
sit there and listen to everything.
Everything.
You listen to everything, and it didn't run across your brilliant mind that he was pissing Jason off.
Right. That maybe Jason shouldn't listen to this.
Right.
Maybe Jason shouldn't hear any of this. Just, you know, he's not necessarily a stable individual anyway.
And you allow him, like me, I'm not the world's greatest detective, nor will I ever be. But I know in reading that book where it was leading up to the final thing that Joker was going to say. So you mean to tell me you didn't even have a glimmer, like a small smidgen, like a foreshadow or a foreseen? He was fixing to say that. The last thing you want to hear is "I'll be your Robin."
She knew.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, he should have shot her on her back.
Dang.
Hey, should have crippled her again.
Right.
I don't know about that, but I just think she just, this whole thing that she doing right now, man, she what they call doing the most. I mean, you should let Bruce know what happened, but don't put it in no position where you sitting all high and mighty when you had every opportunity to try to change the outcome, but you didn't. Because like I said, when I saw this look, I'm like, come on now. I mean, why are you pissed off? Like, what did you expect?
Are you mad you didn't pull the trigger?
Right. Exactly. Now, that could be it. So
I don't even, not being funny, but I don't even think we need to read this part because it's like panel after panel after panel, the same thing, just going back and forth.
Yeah.
Her snitching on him. Yeah. But he killed the Joker. And you're like, okay. Well, he shouldn't have did that. Batman, okay. But you should have helped him. He's like, I will. You know what I'm saying? You're like, all right, I'm tired of listening to you. I told you I got it, you know.
And this is another thing, too. I know we're going to skip this a little bit, but when she's sitting here talking about we got to deal with 2 more Jokers in a Red Hood, Batman, at this point, I understood what he said, what he was trying to say. He killed the Joker. murdering Bruce. Then Batman came back and said he killed a Joker barber. That's all we know. The Joker, whatever the case, what do we do about it? We can't do anything about it. What are you talking about? If we arrest him for murder, he will be forced to unmask. And as the only eyewitness, so with you, it's not that simple. And he says, I'll talk to him. Talk to him. Why are you so calm about this? You should be furious as I am. Again, that hypocrisy that I'm talking about in the previous thing. So setting aside the information, the Joker, whether he was the original one or not, might have had Jason shot a human being who was tied to a chair. Batman trying to talk some reason into her. You need to understand Jason's suffering. The Joker hurt him, but he healed wrong. He got more violent. You got stronger. You couldn't help Jason. You could have helped Jason get stronger. Don't you think that's always what I wanted to do? I thought he was dead. She thought he was dead.
Everybody thought he was dead.
Right. I never forgive myself for leaving him in that grave ever. But after you knew he was alive, if you thought he was capable of this, why didn't you train him again? I'm going to start right now. She has a point, but at the same time, going back to what I said earlier, she could have stopped him if she wanted to. All this stuff, these panels, like you said, X, is just straight hypocrisy from the Oracle, a.k.a. Barbara Gordon. Because at that particular point in time, based on what the next thing that Batman said in the second panel, why did you wait until now to think that he needed to be talked to? I was hoping he was more like you. Look at her face in that third panel. Shut you down because you could have done what you telling him, even though she was right about the whole scenario with Jason Todd. She could have been his intervention right then and now when all that stuff went down. Like you said, X, she could have punched Joker, knocked him out. She could have skeeted some bat gas in his face.
Something, right?
Something. You know, she could have gagged his mouth up with something.
But you know what, though? This kind of, it's one of those things that kind of rings true for Barbara's character. Because if anybody's watched the newest Batman DC animated movie, the Death in the Family interactive movie that's out, you need to go watch it if you haven't because it's amazing. Get the Blu-ray because that way you can make your choices. Don't watch the digital.
Digital is horrible.
Yeah, because in the digital you don't get to make any of the choices. But in that movie, and all the choices in which you make where Jason does what is immediately perceived to be the wrong thing, Babs turns her back on him. In all those stories.
You know what's funny though? This is why I'm gonna say that she's like Al, how you said she's right by her saying that. This is where she's wrong because he has worked with Jason time and time again after he got back in the Bat family.
Right.
He has worked with him. He's trained him. He's done more with Jason Todd than he's done with Damian, with her, with Tim, with Dick, like all of them. He's done more with Jason after he came back. Right. So what is she talking about?
Because when she got shot, there was really nothing he could do.
He didn't do nothing
to help because she got shot as Barbara Gordon. There was nothing Batman could do to help Barbara Gordon, even though Bruce Wayne did. But even still, Bruce Wayne can't be in the gym helping her do 1,000 squats.
Right.
You know, because that would just look weird.
He paid for that wheelchair.
Right. So yeah, he didn't get a Professor Xavier wheelchair either. He got a regular old.
No, that's part of her rehab, man.
Professor X still.
He didn't even get a 90s yellow hover chair. He just got a regular old wheelchair.
Improving your mind.
Right. So, but and to me, it shows the hypocrisy in the panels above when she's just like, it's not that simple. Yes, Babs, it really is. If they arrest him, they will unmask him. And then once they unmask Jason Todd, it's like 6 degrees of separation.
It's a domino effect.
And then all of us are in jail.
Like every single one of y'all.
Right. They gonna freeze Bruce's assets, so we not gonna get a Johnny Cochran type lawyer who's talking about if the masks don't fit, we must acquit. So it's just that simple, Babs. Like I get it that her dad's a cop and she sees things, which is so weird to me for her to be a vigilante. But so often we see Barbara Gordon as Batgirl in the role of the character who sees everything in black and white.
Yeah,
you know what?
You live in a world of gray, but everything is black and white.
Jason Todd would be the only one that'll survive if they froze Bruce's assets.
Jason know how to be broke. He lived on the streets.
It ain't even about him being broke or knowing how to be broke. The man built his own arsenal up with mob money.
Yeah.
He's a survivalist.
He know how to go get that bread, so he'll be all right.
Well, Tim would be all right because Tim's dad was also rich, so Tim's got money.
Yeah, Tim got money, but when they lock his ass up, oh well.
Tim's got money, and so does Dick, because Dick owns the circus. The circus got left to him.
Well, yeah, he
Haley
got it
Circus.
now. Right, but keep in mind, he ain't nothing when he locked up, and they gonna freeze that too.
Raish wouldn't let his grandson be in jail. Raish would break
Break
Damien out. He'd probably break Damien. He
break him out. Break him out. Raish exactly. That judge would never get another bribe.
And if he didn't burn it to the ground, Raish would, knowing the way he works, in order to keep Damien safe, Raish would purposely have members of the League of Assassins arrested and put into the jail with Damien to be Damien's crew while he's in, as young as Damien is. Damien would be in juvie. He'd be in juvie with a crew of assassins, juvenile assassins with him.
The assassins would be the guards, the wardens.
Mm-hmm. Damien would be the only one that would be perfectly okay because Raish would just overhaul the whole jail to make sure it was all just League of Assassins people.
Have a Lazarus pit down there and everything.
Everything. Lazarus pit in the basement just in case something goes wrong.
Right.
Yeah, but Babs, that hypocrisy, though, of just, it's that simple. He killed somebody. That makes him a murderer. You know your dad's the chief of police and you're running around illegally stopping crime, right?
The commissioner.
Oh, yeah, the commissioner. Like, you illegally stop crime on a nightly basis.
Nightly basis, right.
While we're talking about things that are illegal and doing the wrong thing. Like, you broke a dude's arm earlier tonight. You've knocked out some teeth.
Aggravated assault. Super aggravated assault.
Property damage at the aquarium. Like,
and then she ain't even thinking about the damage she could do to her dad.
Right. All the people.
Your father is the commissioner, and if you get out, like they were like, "Hey, this Barbara Gordon is Batgirl,"
and the commissioner,
they're gonna look at him like, "So you didn't know that your daughter?"
Right. It's gonna be either you knew she was Batgirl and you helped her, or you are inept and had no idea that your daughter was Batgirl and you weren't helping her.
You are too incompetent to be the commissioner.
Right. Either way, either way, he can't be the commissioner no more and he's out of a job.
Like, Jim, you dumb as hell, man.
Right.
You're stupid,
Either you too dumb to realize that your daughter, your only child, well, not only child, that's right, he's got a son now. He's got the James. But James is a psychopath. We don't talk about him. Yeah, so that's just, it's not that, it is that simple. It's not. It is not that simple. If any of y'all basically, being a member of the Bat family is like joining the Impossible Mission Force.
It's the Illuminati.
If you or any member of your team gets found out, the government will disavow your existence.
Right.
And you are on your own.
You are on your own, right.
It's too much of a domino effect, but she's on that high horse. Barbara is always put as that character as being on that high horse of righteousness.
She ain't shit either.
Right.
She ain't shit. I just thought about something else, and it's tying into everything that we've been saying, and especially what you've been saying. But they are all orphans, and Bruce Wayne is their ward. Every single thing ties it back to him. So you need to turn your ward in. What? What? What is you smoking?
You want me to turn all of them?
You want me to turn him in when there's more than enough of a paper trail to link him to me?
Look, the court system in Gotham may not be 50%, but they smart enough to put 2 and 2 together. If Jason Todd, the adoptive son of Bruce Wayne, turns out to be one of Batman's allies, it ain't gonna take them long to figure out that maybe Bruce Wayne is Batman.
After his first ward went off somewhere else, unknown, and then where he moved to, there just so happened to be a vigilante at night.
Right, Nightwing mysteriously shows up after Batman loses Robin.
Right, and then after Jason miraculously died, hey, Tim Drake.
becomes it right. Like it won't take long.
Man,
Like
hey, once
I know
again
everybody in Gotham ain't got a PhD, but there's some smart cookies when they get their 8 hours. Like,
move that bullet from her back up 2 feet.
Damn.
And pull the trigger.
Don't do it like that.
I've always been a fan of Barbara Gordon as Oracle. She was nowhere near as hypocritical. She didn't have that hypocrisy as there we go. Hypocritical. Couldn't get it out. Everybody got their word tonight.
Subfolk.
Yeah, as Oracle, she just fed information, helped heroes, and did her thing. But because she was not in the field, it seems like she wasn't as hypocritical to what everybody did. She understood that everybody did what was necessary to stop whoever they were chasing. That's what it seemed like.
You know what I think, though? Honestly, I honestly think that's going to, when we hit book 3, I honestly think that's going to come back to bite her because she still got her own demons that she got to personally deal with before this story is over with. So,
man,
she might be setting herself up for the okie doke. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, they started with Jason, but I really want to see how she deals with facing her Joker.
That's what I'm talking about. I mean, you saw how she tore up that treadmill.
Yeah. How is she? How would you pull the trigger, Barbara, face to face with?
Hey, when we get to the end of this, when we get to the end of this book, I want to throw something in there. Because I want to say something, but I don't want to spoil this. Well, it wouldn't spoil it.
Go ahead and hold on to it, man. To the end.
No. I was thinking what I was gonna say. It literally won't spoil it. What if book 3, her trial and tribulation, isn't even her Joker is Tim Drake?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We don't know exactly what timeline this is taking place in. You know what I'm saying? So if all of this rolled over, I mean, Tim, they might, everybody's looking at what he did to Jason Todd. People keep forgetting about what he did to Tim Drake.
Yeah, but you're talking about Return of the Joker movie. You know, that's a tad bit more outside of, but it's outside of continuity. It's never been linked to being a part of actual Batman continuity.
True, but neither was Three Jokers until they brought it back into continuity.
Well, I mean, it was a part of the main DC Universe continuity. I mean, because it started in the Justice League comic books, but Return of the Joker was a standalone Batman Beyond movie.
True. I get that. I'm just saying, like, we still don't know what timeline this is.
It would be extremely true. It would be not true, but it would be extremely interesting if the third Joker, the criminal, turned out to be Tim Drake. The Jokerized Tim Drake from Batman Beyond's Return of the Joker. That would be interesting.
Because he ain't nowhere near in this so far.
He is actually one of the few. We haven't seen Nightwing or Tim actually yet.
Yeah, we haven't seen Nightwing. We haven't seen Tim. We haven't seen Damian.
But again, though, this story focuses on the impact the Joker has had on specific members of the Bat family. And he hasn't had that impact with Damian or Dick or any of the rest of them. He hasn't had that.
But she has. Her relationship.
Yeah, she has, but they haven't. Right. That's what I'm saying. Like they, you know, there's no stories where where Damian or Dick or Tim get beat to death or crippled.
True.
You know.
But like if you turn one of her love interests into the person she hates, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but most people always think of Barbara Gordon as being Dick Grayson's love interest more than Tim Drake's.
True. But she done been with everybody in the Bat family except for right.
But you know, Dick ain't shit.
Because he's too young.
Dick ain't shit. We can't talk about him like that. Dick ain't, you know.
Yeah, man. Hey.
We talking about the dude who went to a house and slept with Barbara Gordon the night before his wedding, and then got up to get dressed to leave and gave her an invitation to his wedding to Starfire for the next day. Cold blooded.
They get out my head. I was thinking the same thing, man. But I'm like, why are you messing with her, man? You got Starfire. Like,
He was getting married to Starfire the next day, but he went and saw Barbara the night before, got one in, and then was like, hey, by the way, I'm getting married tomorrow. Here's the invitation.
and she got the nerve to try to make Jason Todd look like golly, man. And you knew this.
Yeah.
You knew this man was getting married the next day, and you gave up the goods. Man, come on. All right, Barbara Gordon.
Dick Grayson cold-blooded. That's why he may not be like Bruce, but he cold-blooded about it.
He learned from the best, man.
Man.
He's a pimp.
That's what I'm talking about. Hey, they say he done had more trim than anybody in the DC universe.
Done got more booty than a toilet seat.
Yeah, man. That's Starfire, though, man. Anyway, okay, so we're going to move on.
Huge jump here.
Especially from Titans.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're in another scene. Blood on the wall. People getting beat the hell up. Ice cream truck in the background. Man is begging for his life while he getting kicked in the solar plexus. So we actually see some assault going. And we scroll down and we see the man's head going up against, good gracious of life, he dented that truck up.
Right.
So, and if you can see up under, which was presumably Jason Todd's hand, a tooth is missing. So he likes to still knock people's teeth out.
And again, we see the Joker's, from his Joker, the tattoo on the guy's chest. Again, they're using everybody's individual specific Joker, emblem on the thugs and everything.
Yep. Let's see here. So he beat the brake shoes off this dude. He says, you have one chance to not end up like your buddies. Man says, what do you want? You ain't even ask. Man said, I don't like asking twice. So we skip to another scene where Barbara's still talking her smack. Make Jason put the red hood and guns away, Bruce. Go back to Jason Todd before he kills someone else.
Yeah, because that'll stop him.
Yeah. Jason Todd says, you hangers on were asked to find a place to hide a whole lot of chemicals. Skip back to Barbara talking to Batman. You better have a good response. And then Batman tells Barbara, I'll tell him. It's over. Then the henchman, I can't say I want whatever you do to me, he will do worse, meaning the Joker. All the while, Batman has this look of concern in his face. He's probably driving about 160 miles per hour now. You don't have to tell me. I don't know what VRT is. That a sound effect for something like a gun or something? Oh, that's his mask. His detectives in the hood are already picking it up. Okay. So I can see it all over you. Oh, okay. So he's got recognition when he's some residue.
He's got chemical analysis in the lenses.
Oh, that's what's up. I didn't even pay no attention to that the first time. I can see it all over you, pool cleaner. Now, you might think this means I let you walk away, but I can't have you going anywhere until the cops pick you up. Yeah, wait. And then that trademark scream, that generic scream, when nothing else will do. So it's left to the imagination what he did. He probably broke both his legs.
Because he said he can't have him walking away or going anywhere. So he probably broke his legs, yeah.
So we skip back to Batman and Batgirl. We're headed out of the city. Are you tracking Jason? I tried. So where are we going?
Hey man, what kind of gas tank she got in that bike?
Man,
that's
what it was full in the last issue, right? When they showed the gas tank when she was
it was full.
Okay, so she done drove from Ace Chemicals to the aquarium to meet up with Bruce at where the barking dogs were, and now she done followed him out the Blackgate, and this is all in the same night. On that one tank of gas.
That's that 200 octane, man. That's what
I guarantee you she's sitting on half a tank.
It's that
She's sitting
corn
on 3/4.
It's that gas made out of corn. That's what it is. It's that super. That's the gas only Bruce Wayne can get in the whole city.
It's that recycled French fry grease.
So don't joke about that. I had food poisoning 2 weeks ago from that.
From French
So I'm
fries.
still from old grease.
Oh snap!
Ooh, that's why you don't use that.
Yeah. I didn't know it was old grease.
Oh man,
I'm
I
sorry.
didn't know. Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, I was too.
glad you're better.
I am too. That hurt bad. Hey, look at the Batmobile right there on that panel. Right.
That's that Tim Burton Batmobile again.
That's actually Joe Schumacher, minus the lights. You see how more raised the wing is in the back.
See, but Joe gave us that dumb Batmobile though.
Yeah, that's why I said minus the lights. If you put the lights in there, it's gonna be the same as that one that Joe Schumacher had in Batman Forever. But then,
because the lights would help you really see because they went for that whole organic look in Batman Forever, and you really can't get that from this distance with the way that they drew it. That's why I looked at it and saw more of the '89 Batmobile, because this Batmobile, because we saw it in the first issue from the profile, this Batmobile always instantly apparently turns into the Tim Burton Batmobile.
Right.
Every time you see it from the side, but then the minute you see it from the front, it's a new modern 2020 Batmobile. It's got morphing panels on it and everything.
I mean, it's about like him when he saw how the kid turned into he started out Peter Parker and then
he became
Jason Todd.
Morphed from the X-Men, found another job.
Where's Morph? Yeah. So Blackgate, isn't Blackgate a prison?
Yeah, it's a prison for regular criminals. Usually for regular criminals.
Okay. So the Blackgate looks very imposing, man. Like, golly, man. In the world.
It shows like you go to get Blackgate, you are not coming out.
All right. So him and Batgirl head to Blackgate. Before the police came in, I examined the body of Judge Walls. He was bludgeoned to death with his humanitarian award before his dogs got to him. Barbara says, "Why didn't you tell my father?" Because of the fingerprints on the award.
Because police should have to do at least a little bit of their job.
Right. So Batman and his insane gadgetry and technology lifted the fingerprint from the trophy.
That's a lot of buttons.
And deduced that it belonged to an inmate at Blackgate. In a car. Night Rider ain't got nothing on the Batmobile.
Kid can't test this.
Million buttons.
Nothing.
That's ridiculous.
So he says they belong to an inmate in here. He says, "Who?" "Bruce, who is it?" Then turns around, looks at her. "Joe Chill."
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun.
Okay, so when did he change suits?
I was wondering if you noticed that.
Because from this profile, the suit is no longer all black; it's slightly gray.
Yep.
And the bat symbol is raised, and the cape clasp and everything is entirely different from the suit he had on in the first episode issue.
Mm-hmm.
The suit Bruce was wearing when he left the aquarium looks totally different. Well, no, this would be the suit from the aquarium. So in the first issue, they never show you him changing out of the '89 bat suit, because they left Arkham Asylum, had the throwdown in the ambulance with the Jim Lee kick in the back door, and then next thing you know, they were going to the aquarium. And Bruce had on a different batsuit. And he's had on a different batsuit since. So that's the one with the flashlight in the chest.
He put the Batmobile on autopilot and changed clothes.
Right. You remember when we were talking about the first one, I said that's the button. Like he had switched and it became the button. So that's when the uniform changed, or his bat costume changed then.
Right. Everybody else riding along in the same wet uniform. Bruce was like, I got to be dry. Baby powder soft.
You know, I'm surprised that the suit doesn't have an auto drying mechanism in it. Shoot,
like Back to the Future 2, just auto dry,
self drying. So
hey, there might be some great heated seats in the Batmobile. You never know.
Hey, he might have it the way it's like a conveyor.
All them buttons.
One of them buttons. Yep.
One of them buttons got to be for a heated seat.
Yep.
I refuse to believe that as expensive as the Batmobile is, Batman rides around with cold butt. Them leather seats, I seriously doubt he drives around with a cold booty.
Y'all think Alfred pack him sack lunches?
Puts them in the glove box, hides them
Right.
for him.
The armrests and all that.
I think he put them in like Rubbermaid containers or something. Master Bruce, here's your peaches, something like that.
Yeah, your Dunkaroos, Master Bruce.
Dunkaroo. Wow.
He give him Dunkaroos.
Wow.
What would he? He probably wouldn't be able to eat nothing but sandwiches while he Batman, though, because that's about the easiest thing to eat.
And just drop one hand, just a sack full of crystals because they small. He can just grab one out and just White Castle.
A Tupperware container full of pigs and a blanket.
Right. Watercress sandwiches because upper crust and all that.
Just dipping sauce, pimento cheese, and crap.
Imagine he got out the Batmobile with some mustard on the side of his mouth.
That'd be funny.
Batman got crumbs on the bat suit. He just getting out. Just 1 second, Gordon.
He had one of the little clothes roller things.
Just
shaped like the bat insignia. Yeah.
He just gets out and got wet naps in his utility belt.
So when I got to this part in the book, I'm tripping over the fact that he just got like free access to the prison. Like he just,
I mean, would you tell Batman no?
Yeah.
Some folk tried.
And most of them are in there too. So
and it don't matter. He ain't gonna listen to you anyway if
right.
you say no.
So I can let him in and avoid the trip to the hospital, or I can tell Batman no and deal with a broke leg for 6 months.
No.
Or you can trick him into thinking that you allow him to break into that bitch and lock his ass up.
Right. Because then I got to deal with Batman when he realizes that I tried to lock him up.
Hey, look.
We back to the broke leg for 6 months and worse.
Look. I guarantee you, if he break one cop leg, every single one of them cops gonna start shooting him.
Who wants to be the cop that shot Batman?
Who don't want to be the cop who shot Batman?
The Joker will come after you because you the cop that shot Batman.
Well, they ain't worried about it. They ain't worried about the Joker.
Think about the thing the Joker has done to people who have attacked Batman.
I just made it easier for the Joker.
That's not how the Joker's gonna see
it. He ain't got no gadgets.
That's not how the Joker's gonna see it.
He coming after your throat
because you shot Batman.
Hey, look. No Batman on the streets. I'm alright. Not Tim. Damn, Tim. Jason and I already killed one of them. He gonna try to kill the other two, and you ain't got Batman to stop him. I'm alright.
Man, the Joker gonna Jokerize some hawks and some eagles and send them after your ass.
No, the bitch, all they gonna do is fly straight to the ground.
You know how you avoid
we
all
gonna
of this?
start laughing.
You know how you avoid all of this? You don't take the IT job and move to Gotham. That's how you avoid all of this. You don't move to Gotham.
No, you can take the IT job and move to Gotham. Man. It's 2020. You working from home.
Like that's any
safer. You ain't got nothing to worry about.
You know what though? Don't come to think of it, 2020 in Gotham is probably like 10 times as worse as it is there.
It's like it's basically Ragnarok. That ain't
Armageddon like everything. Right,
it's Fallout. That's what it is. It's Fallout. That's all. That's what you're dealing with. Gotham City, 2020. Right. It's Raccoon City.
I would hate to be the person that has to fix internet in Gotham.
Never. No. You took the IT job. Guess what you might be doing?
No. Because all I'm gonna do, if I get that phone call, I'm gonna transfer in the Cox or whatever they got in Gotham.
You imagine being the guy having to be the plumber if like Arkham Asylum's plumbing gets backed up or the electricity goes out. You got to be the repairman at Arkham Asylum.
I'll retire.
Oh, somebody retire you, all right?
No, what they gonna do? Like, you ain't gonna get your pension. I'm all right. I got bread stacked up. Y'all deal with that shit.
Literally. I'm going to Fawcett City where it's safe.
I'd move them. Fawcett City, Central, Keystone.
Did you say you're gonna move to Metropolis?
I'd move to Metropolis too.
I think you were about to say Metropolis.
I'd move to Metropolis before I lived in Gotham.
Man, please. I'd rather deal with humans than have to deal with aliens all the time.
At least I can explain aliens.
No, Brainiac every other week trying to get in Mr. Mitzelplix, whatever his name is.
Mitzelplix.
Mitzelplix.
Or as comics explain, like
Gilbert Gottfried.
I'm just saying. It's the stuff that happens in Metropolis is easy to explain. Remember the episode from Batman animated series where the Joker just followed that one dude around every time he moved, just because the guy cut him off in traffic?
Yeah.
You can't explain that stuff to people.
Yes, you can.
Nobody's going.
It's insanity.
Your whole life becomes nothing. If you even remotely told your wife, hey, we got to move. Why? Because the Joker knows where we live. And then when you move again, because the Joker knows, after the second time, you're moving by yourself. That's just.
Hey, it might be better. What if in your single life you mess around and hook up with Diana Prince?
I don't know if you want to be Steve Trevor. She got gods coming around and causing her problems.
Hey man, Steve Trevor God like anyway. You see what happened after he got inside her in the movie. Unleashed a whole new power. She can ride lightning bolts now. Good God.
She's the daughter of Zeus. That's totally different.
She's not the daughter. She was molded from clay.
No, actually, it turns out in her current storyline that that's actually a lie that was given to her to keep her from knowing that she was the daughter of Zeus. So Zeus's wife wouldn't attempt to kill her like he killed Diana, like she does with all the other Zeus's illegitimate children.
Yeah, they retconned it.
It's like the fourth retcon of how she was created.
Only a second. George Perez introduced the clay and the Greek mythos when he introduced Wonder Woman when he took over.
That's too many.
Back during the 80s.
So she Kratos' sister, for real.
Well, no, actually not even Kratos' sister, because before she found out she was actually the daughter of Zeus, Ares actually passed down the mantle because he was dying. He passed the mantle. She literally became the god of war for a while.
So she's still the offspring of Zeus. So she Kratos' sister.
Well, yeah, in that aspect, yes. But she was the god of war. There wasn't no,
I ain't talking about title. I'm talking about like literally his sister.
Yeah, she would be literally Kratos' sister. Yeah.
And on that note, I have one thing to say in that regard. Boy.
I do got to say though, I'm happy Rupert Thorne has finally made it into a Batman comic book.
Who is Rupert Thorne?
Rupert Thorne was usually the most known thug in the Batman the Animated Series cartoon. Rupert Thorne was the heavyset gangster that was usually causing Batman. Whenever they wanted Batman to fight somebody that wasn't a supervillain, it was usually Rupert Thorne and his thugs that was causing Batman problems. Yeah. Before there was Falcone, there was Rupert Thorne. And I've never seen him in a comic book until now, and I was just like, even though he's in jail, I'm glad Rupert Thorne made an appearance.
First cameo appearance.
Right. The first appearance, people might want to be on the lookout.
Hey, you don't see nothing. Hey, man, you don't see nothing but his hands.
Let me tell you something. If this book jumps up in value because of Rupert Thorne, I might stop collecting comics.
Hey,
call it quits.
Stranger things have happened, man. So
true. That was a plug for what you were downloading earlier.
Yeah.
Stranger things.
Sure was. Stranger Things, but yeah, man. I mean, you think about the current climate of comic books. So, the way I see it now, any comic book published right now could be a key, like a key. All it takes is for somebody to say something. Hey, man, Rupert Thorne was in that book. He's supposed to be in the next Batman movie.
Next thing you know, everybody trying to find the first appearance of Rupert Thorne, and anytime he's appeared,
or his hand.
And then what cover would be the coup de grace? You know what I'm saying?
All right, so let me ask y'all this: who is this Alexander Sartorius?
I don't know.
I've been trying to figure that out myself since I read the issue, because he's not a standard Batman villain, and it's odd that a character who obviously has some type of superpower is being kept in a normal cell. Because all the superheroes, supervillains that have powers are usually kept in. I mean, there are some that are in Blackgate, but they're also kept in special cells. Right. But he looked like he just in a regular old do nothing, have Peabody cell.
The Bibb County LEC.
Right. He down in the Mayberry County Jail, minding his own.
Let me ask y'all a question. Now, I'm sure y'all remember Justice League Unlimited.
Yeah.
Wasn't it a character in Justice League Unlimited that had he was like a ghost, he like Ghost Rider, but he had like a green skull, and
I forgot his name. Um,
That's
you
who I
should know
thought
this
it
because
was.
Superman fought him, and
You're thinking Superman fought the Atomic Skull.
That's who I'm
that's
talking
who we're
about.
talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is Dr. Phosphorus. That's who Alexander Sartorius is. He's Dr. Phosphorus.
So what
Who,
did he
oddly
do wrong?
enough, another, which if we scroll back up, we'll probably see it too, but cool little thing, if you look at if you scroll back down to Alexander Sartorius's cell, his number is 0197705. Dr. Phosphorus's first appearance in Detective Comics was issue 469, May of 1977.
Oh wow.
So 05-1977, that's his first appearance date.
So
So
would this be the same for him?
I bet you that is Rupert Thorne's first appearance date.
That's awesome, man. That is pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Ah,
And there's Joe Chill. Guarantee that's his.
That's
Yep.
that's it.
That's why they're all there. Dr. Phosphorus and Rupert Thorne appear in the same comic. Rupert Thorne appears issue 469 of Detective Comics in May of 1977. 469, 1977. That's the issue he debuted in and the year he debuted in. And that's the year and the month that Dr. Phosphorus appeared in. And that is, if I'm not mistaken, that's probably the issue the issue in the year that he probably first appeared in for Joe Chill.
So if it's three of them, you think they find some kind of way to tie back into the three different Jokers?
Possibly.
Because Joe Chill has been associated with
forever.
Right.
But Rupert Thorne and Dr. Phosphorus appear in the exact same issue, 469, in May of 1977. They both first appeared in the exact same issue together, which is why it works that they're actually in this comic being shown back to back in their jail cells, and then that's their cell numbers are their first appearance date. And with Joe Chill, his first appearance was, that's how that works out. Joe Chill's first appearance in Batman was Detective Comics number 33, November 1939. So his cell number, his inmate number is his first appearance issue and the year he appeared in. Same thing with the rest of them.
Well, folks, if you're watching this, if you didn't know, now you know.
This, just like we talked about deeply in the first issue, they dropped major Batman mythos Easter eggs.
What kind of jail would you go to where they have the inmate's name and engraved on the cell?
You ain't going nowhere.
Right, that's a jail where Blackgate is only for inmates.
You ain't going nowhere no time soon if it's chiseled into.
They got a nameplate made for you when you came in, so that lets you know you serving 10 plus off the rip.
And it's probably interchangeable, so you get if they get transferred to another cell, they just pull it off and put it on that other cell.
When you go to the infirmary, they give you a cell to somebody else. They just pull your nameplate off and just put it on your cell for the infirmary.
Yep.
You Joe Chill now, but you're just in the infirmary.
All right. Well, that's some good stuff to know, man. Easter eggs abound. So okay. So Batman finally got to who he wanted to talk to, and that was Joe Chill. And dialogue going on. Oh, I thought the man in the mask was rather dashing, Thomas. And we go right back to a flashback of that fateful night. And I'm gonna skip some of this because, of course, this is basically just.
If you don't know this scene in Batman history, I'm gonna need you to hit the like and the subscribe button, but then also stop watching because you don't know what you're doing.
Right.
Yeah, go like and subscribe first, and then come back. And
it's just like Uncle Ben and with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Right. I have to say though, I read that first panel in all the sarcasm of like a 10-year-old boy. Like he's called Zorro, Mom.
Yeah.
Like just so much sarcasm in that.
So this actually takes him back.
I think they should have said mother instead of mom.
You feel like Bruce would have been one of those kids?
Yeah, he would have been mother, father. He don't strike me as a mom or dad type kid.
Right.
I mean, this man, he has on a 3-piece suit to go see Zorro.
Hey, Rich.
That's what I'm saying. He doesn't strike me as a mom or dad type kid.
The only time you ever hear Batman's voice crack.
Right. I just noticed that. Like,
You know,
who
you know who I'm here for.
he
Like,
had.
he had to get his Christian Bale on.
Look at his face in the first one, and then look at his face in the third one. He had to turn on that Batman like
He had to
on
get that Christian
12.
Bale voice on.
He's like, you know who? He sounded like Kevin Conroy in the first one. You
Right.
know who? You know who I am. You know.
Swear to me. Yeah. He went from Kevin Conroy to Christian Bale just that fast.
All right. So it's like, we need to talk now. So
and see, this whole scene is right back to him kicking that ambulance door off the hinges on the end.
That's
like,
right.
Batman's strong enough to kick a jail cell off. They aren't meant to swing that way.
That's amazing.
Some boots, man.
They don't swing that way.
You don't see them Gambit boots he got on.
Man, whatever. He ain't got on Owlman boots. Owlman at least have like servos in his boot to make him stronger.
He got them kinetic car boots on. So
man, just
them thing might be laced with vibranium. New vibranium at that.
trick card boots.
Well, you know he got 10th metal because that's the newest metal.
Yep, sure is.
He's got 10th metal boots.
So anyway, he's still kicking on jail balls, and I just like, I don't understand. But when he gets in the actual jail cell, no one's there.
I gotta ask how they sneak that. Nothing for nothing. If a man killed my parents and I dedicated my life to making sure what happened to me never happened to anybody else, and I finally found him and knew he was in jail, he wouldn't be able to fart without me knowing it happened.
Yeah.
So how did they get Joe Chill out of prison without him knowing about it? You slipping that much, Batman? You got that much going on?
How the hell Joe Chill been in prison this long and have a picture of like a little 8-year-old kid?
Probably one of his great grandbabies or something.
Great grandbaby.
I mean, 1939's been a long time away.
And when them, and he in jail, when them pictures been long disintegrated?
Well, you got to mention he ain't been in jail. Joe Chill went in and out of jail for years before he got put into prison for the murder of the Waynes.
True, but them pictures had to go with them too.
They're laminated.
Laminated with tape. With tape.
Scotch.
Yeah. With tape. Scotch tape.
Double-sided Scotch tape.
And cardboard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you figure Joe Chill probably didn't go to prison for the murder of the Waynes until like the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
did they ever have like a story arc about that? Like in
the trial of Joe Chill?
Yeah. They did?
I would assume at some point they would have, but that doesn't mean that they did. That's just me figuring that maybe somebody was smart enough to be like, maybe we should.
I think that would have been pretty much a good story arc. I mean, Joe Chill is pretty much, I mean, he's the reason why Bruce is doing what he's doing. So why wouldn't that be a storyline? So, well, needless to say, he's not in his cell, and then Captain Obvious, they moved him, and then here comes Hip Girl.
The thick Batgirl action figure now.
Look, I mean,
double jointed hips.
Look at her, man. I'm not trying to lust after a comic book strip, but look at her physique, man.
That girl ain't never been that thick.
Nah, man. Batgirl is thick. Like, she is black girl thick. I'm sorry if I offended anybody that's watching this, but look at Batgirl's body.
It took some serious skill to be able to swing from rooftop to rooftop
She
with hips
got
like that.
birthing hips, man. All right, when she walk out of that jail, man, that song "Brick House" just gonna come on. She's a brick house. Anyway,
the Brazilian.
Yeah, apparently she is
that Argentinian.
Look at her, the third panel, man. She don't even. It's like her ethnicity had changed. She does look Brazilian a little bit, though.
Her mom was not 100% white.
Apparently,
Jim found him somebody.
So she asked, she tells Bruce that they moved Joe Chill, and then Bruce asks, "Where is he?" And she
says he don't know.
He's sick. How does she know this?
But Bruce don't know. Right. Again, why don't you know these things, Batman?
I got a quick question. What is Jim Gordon's wife name?
Barbara. The kids are actually literally named after their parents. They didn't do a whole lot of creativity on Jim Gordon's kids. The daughter is named Barbara Gordon, who her mom is named Barbara Gordon because she married Jim Gordon, and the son is named James Gordon. Yeah,
If that makes it easier for paperwork.
exactly. That makes. They did not do a whole lot of creative work on the kids of Jim Gordon.
What should we name our daughter? Barbara. That's my name. No, Barbara.
And for the longest time, he didn't have a son.
Yeah,
Barbara was an only child. They made him up for a story arc, and then they decided to make him a psychopath.
Yeah, because he's in that Batman Who Laughs miniseries. So, yeah, that's how I found out about him.
Barbara.
So let me ask y'all this. So I'm assuming Blackgate showed up in 1991. That was the first appearance of Blackgate.
At least the hospital.
So Blackgate hospital or the prison?
Blackgate
Both.
hospital wing.
Both. It's a prison.
It's a prison, but all prisons have infirmaries. That's their hospital wing.
Right. I mean,
so Blackgate as a whole actually showed up in the comic books in 1991.
What year did Batman come out? Tim Burton Batman, 89, 88?
89.
So 2 years after that movie, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest decided to make an appearance in the Batman mythos. Like, if you look at that, that is the same exact kind of layout that they had for the psych ward in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
I'm not surprised.
Speaking of, don't watch Nurse Ratched on.
You would be correct.
Don't watch that. It is horrible.
Blackgate's first appearance was Detective Comics issue 629, May of 1991. So, from here on out, we can pretty much assume that if you see any kind of numbers with people, that there's a good chance that the numbers that are associated with them hark back to their first appearance, the year of their first appearance. Which makes you want to go back and look for all kinds of other numbers in the first issue now, at least for me anyway. Like, I gotta go back and read the first issue for like the 5th time.
I ain't gonna lie, man. That's pretty cool, man, for real, the way they did that. I really like how they incorporated, various aspects of Batman's history into this particular series. So
I don't think there are any numbers in the first one, though. As much as we combed through it when we went over it, I don't remember seeing any.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing a black Ace Chemical established win sign.
Right.
So they might have different things based on the book. So
exactly,
that makes sense. All right,
definitely worth another deep dive, another read.
Oh yeah. So they actually get to the infirmary at Blackgate, and they see Joe Chill. He's getting some oxygen and some IVs.
Getting them fluids.
Joe Chill's been here for over 2 months, stage 4 cancer. How long did he
not
have?
know?
Batman.
No. World's greatest detective had no idea that the guy who killed his parents has stage 4 cancer.
You would think he'd have a camera in his jail cell, like
of all people to have under surveillance at all times.
Well, maybe he didn't think he was too much of a threat.
Dr. Manhattan didn't know a chick that he was with for years had it.
Yeah.
Didn't know his best friend.
He didn't know he was giving it to him, I guess. Either way.
He didn't even know that they got it from gas.
I guess it's one of those things you don't look where you don't expect. If you don't go look for smoke, you won't find fire.
Right.
Yeah.
He figured Joe Chill's in prison. That's all I need to know.
Yeah. So basically, Joe Chill is receiving treatment, and he's got a couple of weeks or 2 or 3 to live, which actually opens up another can of worms because he found Joe Chill's fingerprint on
the humanitarian award
that was used to beat the brake shoes off of the judge. So here we go on this panel. They show a close up of Joe Chill, and Barbara asked the Captain Obvious question: how could Joe Chill's fingerprints be on the murder weapon from the night? And then Batman says, with a little digging into the surveillance cameras, I'm betting we'll find an unidentified visitor who slipped in and paid a visit to Joe Chill to get his fingerprints and replicate them somehow. to lead me here.
Somehow, that sounds like a guess, Batman. I can think of at least 3 ways to replicate somebody's fingerprints off the top of my head. World's greatest detective. I need you to do better.
Or you could just take the weapon in there with them, put it in their hand, and leave with it.
Right.
Or just throwing this out here, and it might be far fetched. Maybe, just maybe, the Joker figured out a way to clone Joe Chill.
Or maybe the criminal is Joe Chill.
Or maybe the judge is just nasty and don't wipe nothing down.
There is that also. Maybe he just don't take care of his stuff.
You know?
But I mean, that still wouldn't explain why Joe Chill's fingerprints on that trophy, though.
When would Joe Chill have touched the humanitarian award for a judge?
We don't know where the humanitarian award came from.
This is a humanitarian award for a man who was taking bribes
Right.
to lock people up in an insane asylum.
And Gotham.
This is true.
Right.
And Gotham.
Although I do like the idea of Joe Chill being the criminal. That would be an interesting twist.
What if it would have been a part of his work program?
Work release program before he got cancer, before his cancer got too bad?
You know, they make license plates there. They could make a trophy.
That's true. He could have been he could have been the one that engraved the nameplate.
Yeah. I don't know if they would have put anything sharp in the hand like that, but he could have been the one to screw it together.
He would have been in a controlled environment. They wouldn't have allowed for that to happen.
Right. It's Blackgate. It looks secure. People don't escape from Blackgate like that.
Right. So it would be interesting to find out, because I'm pretty sure something's gonna be revealed in the third book to explain why his fingerprints are actually on that.
I'm gonna need them to circle back around to that. I can't wait for the third book to give us those kind of answers.
They gonna answer those within the first 5 pages. I can guarantee that.
Mm-hmm. All right. So it says, what connection is there between the Joker and Joe Chill other than you? I don't know.
Could you be louder, Barbara? We are in a prison. My identity is a secret.
I think they're outside now. I don't think nobody's around them. So
I'm just saying, like,
that nurse still could be there.
right, like, could you not talk about these kind of things? Like, that is a man.
there's been on her phone like, child, you know who I am.
Right. Child, Joe Chill and the Joker are connected by Batman. What did Joe Chill killed Wayne? Do you? Oh, you think Bruce Wayne could be Batman? Like,
I think this man outside this window is Batman, child. He just keep talking about a Joe Chill.
Yeah. So could you, amongst the other things we talking about, Barbara, could you be a little quieter?
So he tells Barbara that he doesn't know, but he finds out Jason just accessed the back computers from his helmet. Alfred has his location. But Bruce, I think Jason's found the other two. So pan to Red Hood with his Akira bike.
Jason got a better bike.
That bike looks like the bike from Akira, though, for real.
That is kind of he's walking in the wrong direction, but that does remind you of the Akira poster.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's cool.
When we get to it, I got a question.
Okay.
Cool. We ain't that far from it, but I got a question.
Hopefully I'll have an answer.
Okay. So he gets to where he's going. He's got his information. So he gets to the Gotham City Athletic Association. It's been condemned, but he don't care because he's going in anywhere. And he gets to a padlock with some chains, and what do you know it? He pulls out a crowbar from the back of his jacket.
Crowbar
and that's
power.
A huge crowbar too, man. Look at that.
That's a He-Man crowbar.
That's what's the Wrecking Crew from Marvel Comics.
That's a Wrecking Crew crowbar.
That's a huge crowbar though, for real. So he used the crowbar to destroy that the chain and the lock. And he opens the door, and then, ironically, you see
the smiling face.
How strong you got to be to break the chains and the lock?
That wasn't a maglock.
That's that Lazarus Pit strength.
That's all that was. Yeah, League of Shadows strength.
Yeah. Strength. All right. So he makes his way into the condemned building,
putting it back up like he Blade. Putting his crowbar back up.
Right.
Shink.
Yeah. So he gets ready to go into the pool area, and he's locked, ready to go. So he gets
and
to where
was
he needs to go.
surprised.
Man,
Not prepared at all.
All them Dr. Manhattans.
bruh, what are they doing? I saw
New
this.
body bleaching techniques.
Apparently, man, the what they call from Naruto, white Zetsus or something. I don't know.
Right.
But yeah. So apparently, the Joker toxin has been used to purify people in the waters of Lake Minnetonka.
Minnetonka.
Yeah.
Like Minnetonka.
So it appears to be a gang of dead bodies, allegedly, in a pool with a whole bunch of Joker toxin or Joker chemicals, whatever the toxins. So he can't believe it. So, it's some ghoulish stuff, to say the least.
Some hellacious bleach, boy.
You ain't lying. So he goes to get a sample of the toxin and pulls out some Q-tips, dips it in the pool.
I guess just to make sure. Because he could have been wrong.
Yeah. So apparently something is going on. Some kind of chemical reaction is happening. Scrolls down. This is mistake number 5 for him.
Right.
Man.
Right.
I can't believe I beat Batman here. And he smirks. Chemicals have been sitting a while, safe enough to breathe. Batgirl, do you read me?
And all of a sudden, Frankenstein.
Schmeagol. Gollum popped up.
So Golem, Schmeagol come up and smiling at him and said, "Whoa, man, get your ass off me. Help me. And let go, you freak."
I feel like that was such a dumb, uncharacteristic move of Jason to remove the helmet.
Yeah.
Right.
Like he has literally kept the helmet on the entire time, other than when he was pretending to be an EMT in the back of the ambulance to get closer to the guy who was Jokerized in the first book.
Mm-hmm.
But he's kept the helmet on every other time. And then he gets here and then takes it off so he can radio Batgirl.
That didn't make any sense to me because
sense.
When I read this the first time, I'm like, hold up. When certain things happen in a movie, when they set up certain things and stuff, like I'm gonna give an example.
Tripping up in the forest.
Right, tripping up in the forest. But I'm gonna give this example. Chris, have you watched the whole series of The Boys, the second season?
I'm halfway through. I'm up to episode 5.
Okay, well,
I've binged through the first 4. But it seems uncharacteristic is what it does here for Jason.
There's certain things that happen, and I'm not gonna say what happens in The Boys, but certain things happen. It's like when it happens, it's like, man, somebody happened. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like certain things start, certain things that start, the wheels start turning, and certain like actions are implemented. Like, man, somebody happened to that person.
Yeah, I will say, for me, that'll be something I'll look for in the third book, because each book has had one character do something that they shouldn't have done. Like in the first book, Barbara shouldn't have missed with the Batarang.
Yeah.
Jason shouldn't have taken his helmet off in here. So I'm thinking in the third book, Batman's going to take his helmet off in front of Catwoman and reveal that he's Bruce Wayne before she kills that rich dude.
Perhaps. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I just thought that was kind of crazy. Like, hold up. Somebody happened to this dude because he pulled the helmet off. So, in true fashion, he's kicking out teeth again.
There you go.
And he's getting ready to bust a cap in the dude. And then dude falls back into the ooze.
I'd move to Gotham to be a dentist. It's probably lucrative.
Everybody have ears. All right. So here it is. So we get to that part where I figured something's about to happen. We hoped you come. And then they bum rush him. Both of them. They drag him away.
Last issue, we saw Jason Todd fight like 6 dudes at the same time.
Right. And knocked all their teeth out.
Knocked all their teeth out, knocked them unconscious, curb stomped that one dude with a tombstone, and then he gets dragged away by 2 Jokers.
The only logical explanation I can think of this is that when they put their hands over his face, that they had something like some Joker
toxin.
Something.
Ether to knock him
I
out.
want Joker toxic because he would have been transformed in the next panel.
Chloroform.
Yeah,
Chloroform,
that's it.
something to knock him out on the gloves. That's
right.
That's the only thing that I could accept.
Yep. Because see, when he
Chloroform on
did
the
that,
gloves.
whatever that is,
Mm.
most times that's to indicate that the breathing has been cut off from the individual.
Their mouth has been muffled.
So yeah, chloroform. They put it on the glove. But they knew straight up they wasn't gonna be able to handle that man like straight up. So they
He done
caught him
killed one of us.
Which is the reason why I can't see, but apparently that's how they wrote it. Dude, man, you in an area you don't know anything about. You just met Smeagol's cousin. All these bodies in this pool, and you just want to take your hood off, like your helmet off. That didn't make sense to me. But nonetheless, he gets dragged away from the pool, and both Jokers are laughing in unison.
You know what though?
What's that?
That's that Iron Man MCU treatment.
Mm-hmm.
You see more Tony face than you do the mask or the helmet. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. That's what I used to, man. It used to really burn me up, man, when I always saw like promotional stuff for those movies and all. And you see like on the movie poster, like everybody knows that Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. Can you just put him on a movie poster with his helmet on just one time?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. That's like, I just didn't, I don't know. Maybe it's in his contract. Right. But I'm saying you already know, man. The man been in like 18,000 movies now.
It's still the face, is the money maker.
So if you don't know that this man is Iron Man by now, you ain't gonna never know, you know.
I mean, think about all of them. They redesigned all the costume masks in order to make them so they could see the character, so you can see the characters' faces more. And even when it comes to the characters that literally rely on having a full face mask, they made sure that the movie had more of the out of costume character shown than in costume. Look at Spider-Man. In every Spider-Man comic I've ever read, you see more Spider-Man than you see Peter Parker.
Yeah.
But in the movies, it's the other way around.
Well, it was the same for Black Panther with the way they designed his suit. You know, he hit that little thing on his chest, and then all of a sudden his face is like, man, I ain't never seen that in the comic book, man, unless he took his mask off.
I got one better for you. Deadshot.
Oh, yeah.
There's no reason why we should see his face.
Yeah.
No reason.
Assassin, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he's a hired gun.
Yes. We would not see him walking around the streets of Gotham with like his best Dolomite hat and fly feather collared jacket with his daughter.
But that's him out of suit. But when they were walking around together, he should have had his mask on when they were in the combat zone. Like,
now, I get that. But you still wouldn't have seen him, because if it was that easy, you'd be like, oh, I know you Deadshot.
Right.
Come on, man.
Hey, man.
And then they had it on the wrong eye. His little eyepiece was on the wrong eye.
Hey, man, didn't you date my cousin in 8th grade?
I mean, but that's how we go. That's how we get down and move. You see more of the actor than you do of the character in some instances. Because I mean, on the small screen with the CW with Deathstroke, you never saw that dude's face. In Arrow, you saw more of the Deathstroke costume than you saw of the actual actor's face in a lot of stuff. But there is not that difference.
That was the Mercury.
Yeah.
Mercury.
Yeah, that's a whole nother.
Hey, man, y'all leave Deathstroke alone.
My name is Crixus.
Hey, man, I love Deathstroke. The
Deathstroke. That is Crixus, okay?
Deathstroke's animated movie, Dragons and Knights, is actually really good. Deathstroke a villain got his own animated movie. That wasn't the Joker.
Navia.
He's stupid. All right, so after they drug Jason Todd away from the pool,
got his helmet.
Yeah,
just sitting down looking and stuff, and like, yes, he would be perfect. Takes the helmet and dips. So the next panel, we get to Jason Todd.
That's why Batman's helmet is booby trapped.
Right.
Yeah, it should have been booby trapped to explode as soon as somebody, soon his if his biometrics doesn't match, it should just blew up or excreted some kind of gas. But hey,
Right.
we think
That's
it's
one thing they got right in the Dark Knight when the goon tried to grab Batman's mask and he got electrocuted.
well.
Yep.
That's probably the only thing they got right about Batman, in my opinion.
All right, so Jason Todd, petty thief, you should have been cuffed and arrested. But then the Batman took you in to make you a second Robin. They done stripped this dude butt ball.
Casino Royale.
You were reborn.
Mm-mm.
Then they got him on a wooden chair. Splinters.
All the uncomfort.
I mean, for real, you were reborn. And then after your death, you were reborn again. But things happen in threes. Like you guys, I was the first. Before Batman, I ran Gotham. Newsflash, Joker, number whatever the hell you say you are, one of your buddies has his crazy ass brains all over the aquarium floor. As soon as I get free, you're next. That touched a nerve into Joker. If you look at his face, that cut him. Like, I don't know how deep it cut him, but it cut him to the point to where he closed his eyes and started gritting his teeth. And then he held the cane in a manner by which he was like, "You low-down mother," you know. So we go down, and he started laughing. He shook it off. He brushed his shoulders off like Jay-Z. But if you look at him though in that second panel, he got rabies. Like that just put him over the top.
He spends a lot of time being in control.
Yep.
That's what that shows. Like
Yep.
he spends a lot of time keeping himself from being just like the rest of them, cracking up and laughing all the time. He's that Joker that wants to be taken serious, even though he is a Joker. And you can tell that by that second panel of him cracking up like that, and you seeing beneath, like the shell cracked just for a moment, the mask fell down, and you see the crazy,
and
it's just like, all right then.
You're right, because if you look at that panel up here, the top right-hand corner, and then this one, this one is like he was going through a transformation. Like what he said right there, it hit him, it touched the nerve, and then he had just let it out. And then right there was like at the apex of that, like you just said, Chris. And then, he was like, what the hell's wrong with you?
Even Jason's just like,
like, hey, Jason looked like, hey, hold up, bro. Give me my drawers back. I need to put them on.
Them next two panels so powerful though.
We about to get to them. So I'll let you in on a secret about the Joker, boy. It hurts when I laugh. So what? You're trying to tell me you're the real Joker? Who is the Joker really? That reminded me of Jack Nicholson right there. This whole...
I see Willem Dafoe for some reason.
It's the forehead.
I think William Dafoe would have made a great Joker.
Oh, yeah.
I know he would have.
As crazy as he was as the Green Goblin, all they had to do was just dye his hair green, throw some white on his face.
Throw some white on his face.
Right.
So who is the Joker really? We're going to find out. So he had enough time to paint a smiley face on the helmet.
Hey, no, that's a dope ass mask though.
Oh yeah. You know what? It'd be cool if he kept that on there like as a reminder, but he probably won't.
What if the Joker bleached that to make the white permanent?
Right, so you can't get it off. You always gonna have this on you.
See, we spent considerable time trying to best answer that question. Who is the Joker? We found that judge, a serial killer, a surgeon, all rather predictable and uninspiring. And then there's you. Tell me something. Why would you put on the helmet and call yourself Red Hood after what we did? Come on, is every one of you copycats gonna ask me the same thing?
Yes.
It's a joke. A joke? We left you. And this is the crazy part about this. He didn't say I in the
We.
last panel. In this one, he says we left you with brain damage and permanent nerve pain, physical and emotional trauma so severe that only relief you'll ever find is when you inflict pain on others. Now, when I got to this part in the book, I'm like, we. So they're basically adding to that mysticism as to which one is the actual one that
Right.
did him in. But they're not just gonna outright tell him. They're gonna keep playing with his head. So goes to the next one and says, "You and me, boy, we're more alike than you care to admit." Now, this is the other Joker talking now.
Mm-hmm. This is the one this is the criminal talking because it's off panel. The voice is coming from off panel from the way the bubble looks.
Right, exactly. So, but you know that already. You nearly died and you blame the Batman. You hate him for it. Me too. I hate a
I
lot
hate
of
a lot of people.
but you hate him most of all, don't you? So he whispering in his ear. Like, this man can't catch a break. You done blew the brains out of one Joker, thinking you was all right. Then you get hemmed up by two other Jokers, and they talking trash to you. Well, one of them at least. Batman needs a better Joker. But to put it simply, I don't know what that was, but to put it simply, you're just not bright enough. Tell me, Jason, does it hurt when you laugh?
You know, I find it interesting that if you go back to when you look at it in the first book, like when you look at those two panels right there, when he's putting the hat on, just like with the clown, you know, all the Jokers have that moment that apparently when I don't know if it's that they zone out or they get that they give them that dead eye, where their eyes go to the pinpoints.
Right there.
Yeah, and all of them have had moments when they're talking that it's like this is a serious moment, and so they get that dead eyed look to the hammer home that they're talking about something extremely serious to them, you know, for at least them at this point. Like, I think that's really interesting.
Yeah, because I'm noticing like they show the close up right here, and then they just transform. Like it's like he went from one persona to another persona, but he's still the Joker.
That's an anime transformation. He just pushed his glasses up. Like, that was.
Matter of fact, hey, this third panel right here, man, he called it like. Remember when Deku was pretending to be All Might and had that little All Might face on? That what he looked like right here.
When he was in was it Night Eyes?
Night Eyes, yep. When he was talking about how big of a fan he was. And Chris, if you're not watching that, man,
I'm watching My Hero Academia. Yeah,
we gotta do a show by that too. I'm sorry. We watch a lot of stuff, folks. Yes. But anyway, get down here. Tell
when
me,
you laugh.
Yep. Does it hurt when you laugh? And Jason, like, brace yourself. I wonder if he gritting his teeth up under that helmet. Like,
you gotta be. I mean, he know how big of a crowbar he brought with him.
Right, because that's his crowbar.
That's his crowbar. Right?
Yeah.
So then,
all the stuff that's running through his mind, though.
Yep.
They have to relive.
Flashbacks.
Yeah.
We were hoping it might be you. It would make so much sense. First, you are the Red Hood, and then you are the Joker. But that's not in the cards. Whacked him again. You know, this really is more fun than it was the first time. And see, this is the thing that I love about this book. They playing mind chess. It ain't even mind checkers, man. Because, you know, Jason Todd went into this particular book thinking or wondering whether the Joker that he killed was the Joker that did him in.
Right.
So this Joker come through with the crowbar. This is really more fun than it was the first time, implying that he was the one that did what he did to him the first time.
Which would mean Jason killed Barbara's Joker.
Exactly. Or did he?
Right. Like, there's so many questions about that. Which Joker's a which?
Right. So
That's
he
the
hit him.
beauty of it, though. They're all the same.
Yeah.
I think when they switch, when they go dead eye, I think they're switching personas, so to speak. Or what is it like?
Ike's.
They're switching psyches. You know.
Right. The personalities are changing when they go
Right.
dead eye.
Right.
So the body goes limp because somebody else is taking control.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's kind of on autopilot.
That's crazy. But needless to say, they done tore that helmet up, a hair hanging out of it.
Right. It looked so much more durable till that crowbar cracked it.
Yeah.
Right. Until he started having blood seep out the bottom of it.
Yeah, that's what I was about to get to. Like, they apparently, he got lacerated somewhere because he bleeding.
They done broke something.
He might be missing a tooth.
I hope not.
I mean, it'll be
Turnabout is fair play, I guess.
right.
So then he goes to work again. Oh, why would I do that? I'm still rooting for you, kiddo. Why? And I don't know, when I read this part, man, I was just thinking, I read this in Mark Hamill's voice. I'm still rooting for you, kiddo. Why? I hope you rise back up and prove us wrong. As the Joker, laughing. Fade to red.
This kiddo is something that Mark Hamill said a lot as the Joker.
Right, exactly. So when I read this, I'm like, okay, I can see Mark Hamill reading this. Just saying it.
Well, if it's a whooping, you're a wanting.
He looked like Jack Nicholson right there.
Yeah, he sure does.
But that's so odd because that's not the Joker. That is the criminal is the one that's dressed and acts more like Jack Nicholson's Joker. So that's actually kind of funny.
And I just noticed something too. Hold up. Did he turn the crowbar around?
It looks like he did. He turned it around so the hook, he hit him with the hook this time.
Yeah, okay. Got it. Okay. Because I thought
What it looks like.
I thought it looks like that's just how they drew it, but I'm like, dang, he broke the crowbar. But
Yeah, I was gonna say it looked like it broke.
We're supposed to be, when it's turned around and we're looking at the Joker in these bottom panels, it's supposed to be us looking through Jason's eyes and the broken part of the helmet up at the Joker. So that's
okay.
That's what the broken part is. That's an art style thing.
Yeah. Okay, all right. Yeah.
You're getting the perspective of Jason Todd of getting attacked by the Joker, so you see what he saw right before he passed out.
Cool. Okay. So he cracked him open or cracked him again, and then here come that foot again.
Das Boot.
Hey, man.
That girl to the rescue.
Kevin Nash boot, big boot or something. I don't know. But
look at that. Batgirl got the kick in the door. Batman done kicked in all the dough so far. Batgirl got a door.
And she grinned her teeth like she took that dough out of frustration with them.
I mean, how hard could it have been? I mean, let's be real. Jason broke the chain and the lock on it. The door was already open. Like,
that's true.
That's what I was going to ask y'all.
Mm-hmm.
How did it get locked if they were on the inside?
They went in through a window. They locked it from the outside and went in through a window
or
another
back door. Yeah.
They're like, hey, it's your turn. No, I was on. No, you climb on your back this time. That's that type shit.
They came in through the loading dock. I mean, that's the only way. It's a big, the YMCA or the Gotham, wherever they at. It's it's a big building.
That's all it is, a YMCA.
Right, it's a YMCA. It's a big building. There's a million ways to go. I bet you, because everything else in Gotham, I bet you they got a skylight. They probably could have just lowered all the chemicals in from the roof.
Yep.
Who knows?
But yeah,
every building in Gotham got a skylight.
I'm pretty sure that. So your boy can make a dramatic entrance.
Right.
He probably built it like that once he got grown. Like,
get in these buildings.
All right, so Barbara is using a size 8 or 9, I guess. Kick the door down with the thick thighs that tie up treadmill.
Them cami boots.
Cannon drill boots. Yeah. So she kicks down the door, waving the 4-4. And that was a Biggie Smalls reference, by the way. But
I love how she's wrong once again about Jason in this situation.
Right.
Yeah. So she calls out for Red Hood, and Batman says we could have been quietly if Jason's here. He didn't.
Wrong. He actually did.
Point taken. Right. Exactly.
Jason came in on the Metal Gear stealth tip.
Yep.
Right.
Y'all came in like Contra. Just beating.
Not even Contra, like bad dudes.
Right. Just all the noise.
I'm bad. Yeah. At least I played that game. Played the heck out of that game. Because at least this place is condemned. Hopefully no innocents were. And here come the laughing.
Again, her underestimation of their history dealing with the Joker. At what point is there anything that says just because the building is condemned, there's potentially no innocent people being hurt? Like, nothing about the Joker says that that's actually a possibility.
Like, within the last couple hours in the aquarium where it was a condemned building,
right?
You got a giant shark that just ate a midget.
Gaggy.
You know, like, for her to be so smart, she dumb.
She dumb.
Well, you know, you got that situation where you got people that are smarter than a whipping, super intelligent like Spock, but they lack common sense. I know
He's the smartest dumb person I know.
Yeah, so that's.
I was trying to remember what movie that came from.
Forrest Gump, maybe.
No.
Like a box of chocolates.
The robot, iRobot.
iRobot.
Yeah, that's a pretty decent movie. So we hear that trademark laugh. She's asking where that's coming from. So they're looking around, can't find out specifically where it's coming from, and then
The Walking Sleep.
Yeah. Dead Rising, whichever one, take your pick. So you got zombified,
Jokerized
dudes coming after y'all, laughing, butt naked, all kinds of slime and juice coming off of them. So they get that back to back
smell.
Yeah, man, you know it's got to stink.
Nothing about that is pleasant.
Nothing at all. I'd be like, Batman, let's use these grappling hooks and get the hell out of here, man.
I'd be putting on my rebreather. I ain't trying to breathe in none of that.
And ain't none of y'all getting close to me. Meat juice.
Sweat.
Yeah.
Not happening.
Falafel, saliva.
What if they gooch touched you? Like they tank touched you?
And look at the one right here, boy.
He is enjoying his psychosis. He is flying.
He got that Naruto run going on.
He's trying to be the first to get the Batman.
Yup, he about to get kicked. Yeah. Oh, so all of this butt ass nigga just coming after.
Keep your twig and two berries away from me is what you can do. Like,
I didn't realize this panel was that big, but yeah.
Yeah, it's huge.
All right, so they attack. Batman is like more
balls.
More jokers. Ha ha ha. And then he's saying help. So he don't want to be the Joker, but he don't know because he's crying. He's crying, yeah.
Green tears.
Needless to say, Batgirl ain't playing this. No more victims. They laughing. Two got knocked out right here.
Gone.
They said they must have Jason. It's more laughter.
World's greatest detective for y'all right now.
I'm talking about he dropping bowls like Dusty Rhodes.
Man, Batman is dropping them.
I'm talking about straight up headbutts, elbows. I mean, they dispatching them. Batman, my belt. Okay, so they took the utility belt off of him.
You know, he used to have booby traps on that too.
And it's beeping. It's in my belt. They activate the call button. It's coming. What is? Oh Lord, somebody about to die.
Hey, that's the booby trap.
Yep.
Teeth missing. Dude on Batman's shoulder missing 2 teeth.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Top and bottom, perfectly in a symmetrical. Like he can slide like some business cards in between the teeth.
Yeah.
Right. He got a coin slot.
He got a credit card slot.
He got a credit card slot.
And I need to do the transaction right quick.
But they're hard driving now.
I'd say there's been at least 40 teeth knocked out in between these 2 books.
Probably. They just need to collect all of them and put them in a jar.
Right. Let Two Fairy come get them.
Right. So here comes the Batmobile. and I'm pretty sure some of them died.
Right. Nobody got away from that
Nah,
unscathed.
unscathed. Some broken bones, broken teeth.
Somebody got run over.
Hemorrhaging. Yeah, somebody died. Matter of fact, this dude right here looked like he under the Batmobile.
There are sharp edges on the Batmobile. How nobody got stabbed or cut or?
This one right here, he got a look of pain on his face.
His spine is gone.
Disappeared quickly.
His spine is liquefied.
Yeah. All right. Boom. A room or whatever. Room, I guess. That's the engine. All right. So the Batmobile dispatched the rest of them. And say, we can still save some of them. We can save Jason. Save me. Man. Dang, now he got messed up. Jason?
Right. Rebar through the chest.
Rebar through the chest and stomach. Not Jason. Ha ha ha. He died. For a moment, I thought it was him. Bruce? He's
again,
here.
Can you call me Batman when the cow is on? I really need, like, that bothers me. Like, I have a secret identity for a reason. But yet, at every turn, Batgirl is just like, Bruce, what are we going to do about Jason? Could you say, Batman, what are we going to do about the Red Hood? Is it that much harder? Like, just a couple extra syllables?
She got caught in the moment, Chris. That's all.
I'm just saying, she need to stop being caught in the moment. She get caught in the moment a lot.
Yeah, she does. She does.
Stop calling him Bruce.
Somebody
mentioned Oracle.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. It could be a layover from her Oracle days where she called him Bruce all the time. So, but anyway, they messed up. They in the YMCA. They didn't. I'm pretty sure they didn't expect to meet their end at the Y. By the hands of the Batmobile at that. But
right,
Batman and Batgirl continue to look on. Apparently, it stinks because Batgirl got a hand over her nose. And there we go.
You know, they say when a body dies, it releases all waste, and that's a lot of dead bodies.
Yeah. So if you notice that all that Joker toxin is gone.
It's gone, yeah.
So how long, that's one thing, like, how long is it in between when Jason fades to red and they actually get done? Because that had to take a minute.
Yeah, it had to take a minute to drain that pool for sure.
Drain that pool and to wake all those Jokerized men up. Yeah. That had to take a minute. So there had to be at least hour and a half in between Jason first getting there and then when they first show up finally.
Maybe. But they work really quickly unless they had somebody working with them. So I find it hard to believe just them two would have been able to drain that pool.
Right, because they're not showing them having any henchmen this time around. The Joker's working alone.
Right.
So, I mean...
It had to be some time elapsed, some decent time.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we see the after effects of the pool.
It might not have been a lot of chemicals in there because there was a lot of bodies in there.
True, volume-wise, it could have been the bodies filling up the pool more so than the amount of liquid.
Right. And then they were oozing out on each other also, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's a lot of barrels though.
Yeah, but you know, green tea is they got green everything else.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
I said, why are they doing this?
And the barrel still leaking in there too.
Yeah.
Wonder how well blood cleans out of the bat cape.
Man, you know it's probably it got Scotch Guard on it.
Or does Alfred just throw them away and burn them?
Is good. He burned them. He has to burn those.
Instead of trying to patch them up and clean them, just burn it.
So you're looking at the devastation of all the folks, and then he answers Barbara, Batgirl, I don't know. So there's that hint. That crowbar is right there. Oops. Written on the door. Slowly, Batgirl opens the door. And they find Jason. They beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, they beat the brakes off Jason.
They bruised him all the way in his whole body.
It's interesting not to see any broken bones. It all just looks like bruises.
Right.
Maybe there's some internal injuries, but you don't like his knee doesn't look broken.
No, not at all. They went to work on him though. Jason, he's sitting there butt naked. Jason, are you Then don't touch me. Jason is Bruce.
Wasn't the hands tied behind his back?
He was. I let it go.
They might have, you know what though? But he was
Another
at the same time. He was in a chair too. Well, then again, hold up. Yeah, he was in a chair when they first started wailing on
But
him.
they had him zip tied though.
His hands were tied up behind him, zip tied.
Yeah.
They might have cut him loose after they knocked him out.
Then he just laying there with his hands behind
With
his
his
back.
arm behind his back like that.
That ain't
That's,
comfortable.
Hey,
I was
man,
just finna say that's uncomfortable. I don't care what hood you are.
that's just like Peter Griffin when he falls. That arm fly behind him. Fall behind his back. That is so stupid. It's so dumb. They used to say, he was free. Jason, don't touch me. Jason is Bruce. You're the Red Hood first, and then you become the Joker. Jason, are you all right? Am I all right?
That was, am I all right?
Right,
Yeah,
like that was,
that's right. That's how you spell. Am I
am
all
I
right?
right?
He should have put a Samuel Jackson mofo in front of that.
Do I look all right?
So he throws the hood, blood drenching the hood. The helmet.
I would have been mad too. Like, bitch, I'm butt ass naked, and you gonna ask me, am I alright? I could have easily been raped by at least 2 people, and I don't even know. And you gonna ask me, am I alright? Don't you see this thing, this helmet that has a hole in it where you can look me in my eye, that takes bullets, but you're looking at my eye, and you gonna ask me, am I alright?
Right.
Do you see this smile painted on this thing?
Do you know where they could have put that crowbar? No, I'm not all
Right,
right.
right.
He is pissed though. What do you think, Bruce? You did this to me. You put me on this path, and I do hate you for it.
That's that. That's that Batman. What is it? 636. We scroll up a little bit. Where Batman holding the helmet. It's almost like an homage to Batman 636.
Mm.
When he that's when he found out that Jason Todd was a Red Hood.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that is his ab like exploding or?
Am I right there?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. All them
You
bruises right up. Yes, it
He
is.
got a
It's
nut sack.
inflamed. It's inflamed.
He done knocked his nut sack all the way up there.
All that right there is bruised. It's
Yes,
swollen.
Yeah, swelling. They went to
Flailing.
work on them rib cages.
There ain't no ice packs in the YMCA right now. So he just gotta
No, this shit melted.
Been
Right.
cold for years. But he
pop
tells
a couple of ibuprofen to get the swelling down. He'll be all right.
and a CPAP.
And a CPAP. He'll be all right.
He says, and I do hate you for it, for leaving me in the dirt, replacing me with one Robin after another without a thought. And here come Barbara trying to be all sentimental. You were trying to throw the man in jail before.
Now that he done got beat to death.
Right.
Almost to death.
Right.
You want to feel bad. You want to feel sad for him.
Right. So
Go get smaller eye holes back, girl. That's what you can go do.
Yeah, right.
That ain't. It's something that hides your face.
Right. Stop having eye holes the size of tea mug saucers, and we'll talk about some things then.
That's why I can't see how daddy don't know that's her.
Them coasters.
But anyway,
86% of her face is showing.
Right.
Only thing ain't showing is like the top of her head and
her forehead. Maybe that's what throws it off. He can't see her forehead, so that's why he's.
Like he ain't look at her and be like, dang, she got my nose, or dang, she got Barbara nose.
Mm-hmm.
You got my wife's eyes.
Right.
Right. So Jason is in a world of hurt, both physically and mentally, and he's basically saying, what are you gonna do to me, Barbara? Arrest me. Do it already. Lock me up. Put me away. What are you waiting for? He He's over in the corner cowering and stuff, and she puts her hand on his shoulder. What do you want? I like this scene, man, because this reminds me of some of them old Batman comic books where his shadow is like casting on something.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
They're using the shadow to cast to draw your eye to where they want you to look.
Right. So a lot of those Adam Hughes covers, man, did that. So that could be an homage to him. I'm not sure, but
very likely.
But Barbara just changed her tune. She wants to get him somewhere safe.
Right. She came in the building with just like, we gotta arrest the hood. He's a murderer.
Yeah, let's lock this motherfucker up. Yeah.
Then it's, you got beat to death with a crowbar again?
Right.
Oh, come here, po baby.
Exactly.
Let mama love you. Let Mama Barbara love you. You'll be okay.
Mm-hmm. So we get to Jason Todd's apartment.
Or Barbara's apartment. Somebody's apartment.
Somebody's apartment. We just gonna say, well, I don't know, something about an apartment Bruce had set up on the side.
Right. It's one of
he
Bruce's
got the
side
money.
chick apartment.
He might own the building. You never know. So So we're gonna see.
I would not be surprised.
Man, the richest dude, like
they might be in Bloodhaven. They look like Nightwing apartment.
Right. You never know where they at.
This is a 90 model car right here. This is like a this is an Oldsmobile Cutlass or the Baron.
That's a Chrysler Sebring or whatever.
Yeah.
Like the Sabre.
Yeah, man, that's a 1989 Honda Accord.
LeBaron. But he's in there in the world of, I guess he's relaxed and trying to recoup. Yeah.
All the pain meds.
So now she's looking in and she has this look of concern. Now, early in the book, she wanted to basically take the man to jail and throw him up under Blackgate. So, and I'm going to tell you what's so funny that I found funny about this. This Joker has not taken this cowl off
at all.
Not one time.
Not one time. Both of them have taken their masks off on several occasions.
Bruce don't care.
That man is Batman regardless. If
I ain't at home, it don't come off.
Y'all
This man literally had a kid with his cowl on.
Right. Like he conceived the child wearing the cowl.
Yeah.
It don't. Yeah. If he could get away with it, he probably would shower with it on. Like it don't come off.
Right.
The cowl stays on. I don't care where we at.
You would think that this would be a personable moment,
Where he wants to show that human emotion and so they can see his face and show his concern and just like, I'm so worried about Jason. I want him to get better. And
thank you.
This is my son. Nope. Batman just like, I got shit to do.
You want me to tell you why?
Why?
Look,
Batman.
Look over her left shoulder. Matter of fact, you see where it said he's asleep. What is that up under there?
A window?
That's half open.
Oh yeah,
so somebody can look straight through and see that Barbara Gordon is Batgirl.
Yeah.
See, he got some sense about himself. He like, nope. Mm-mm.
I just think he just don't like taking it off.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think he did want to be Batman. Like I don't want to be Bruce right now.
Now the suit look like it's almost back to the Tim Burton.
Right.
Says I have a few more leads I'm going to check up on.
Right, he's like, I got stuff to do.
What about Jason?
Hurry up now.
He needs to rest. He could have died tonight. He killed someone. He needs you here. Jason's safe, Barbara. We need to make sure the rest of Gotham is too. Man, Batman is all. He be on
cold-blooded. Batman just like, look, he'll be all
right. Like, come on, man. This man's a guy.
But check this out though. Check this out. They are talking about somebody who survived death.
Right.
Yeah, man. But I think he would be a little bit more moral support. He could just went up and touched Jason on the forehead and be like, I'll be back.
You'll be okay.
And just left. I mean,
Batman might have been the one to clean him up,
Yeah, that's true.
Let's just be glad that nobody decided to write into it when she's just like, what about Jason? And Batman would have been just like, it ain't the first time you've been beaten by a crowbar.
Right. Like, kind of been through this before.
It ain't
Now
the first
that
time.
would been cold blooded right now,
Right, like-
man. I'm like, no, Bruce, that ain't the move,
He
brother.
just need to be
He
like,
lived
make
through it before.
sure, make sure it's his body.
Insensitivity.
Don't let Ray Shaw Google take him this time.
Yeah,
I'm out.
right.
And just
If Ray show up, call me.
right, like Bruce just like if Ray's come to get him, don't let him take him. That's all you gotta do. Like, I'm out. The bat signal.
You know what though? He might have one of them flashlights in his utility belt.
Just the bat signal.
Oh man, that was funny.
So Jason is sleeping, and then there's
How you sleep that hurt?
Hey man, she probably some morphine. Batman probably got some good stuff in that
He
belt,
got some
bro.
great stuff.
He got the bat fiend.
Yeah, I mean, think about it, man. I mean, it's so man.
He built Gotham General.
But he doesn't though. There have been a one of the things that I don't know if a lot of people know. Bruce actually does not agree with taking pain medication because he feels that because it dulls your senses. So Bruce actually does not take morphine, not even aspirin.
That don't mean he don't give it to them.
He chastised Barbara one time for drinking a cup of chamomile tea because it has a stimulant in it because it's tea.
Man,
but he ain't chastised himself for sleeping with her.
I mean, well, you know.
Hey man, when we get done with this series, man, we got to do just a straight up exposition on Bruce Wayne, man. This dude, man, I learned so much about him, man, talking to y'all.
It's crazy. Yeah.
I mean, for real. Like, we need to do like we just need to talk, man. We just talking about Bruce Wayne.
You know why Nightwing and him fell out, right?
That's because of the whole Barbara thing.
Right.
But again,
no, I was asking Al.
No, I don't know. You have to like me, man. So.
Oh man.
But see, that's also not something that's entirely continuity either, though. You can't. That's not entirely canon.
True, but
it is something that happened, but not
amazing.
Fully canon. It's dirty, is what it is.
Right.
I don't know if you call it amazing.
Not amazing as in I wish that would have happened to me. But you know what I'm saying. Let's just say, Dick and Babs, as he called it, were in a relationship. He kind of did the deed and did the do, and there was no pullout. She got pregnant. Dick found out, fought Batman. Babs lost the baby.
Batman and Batgirl did the nasty.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and then she gets pregnant.
Batman busts inside her. She gets pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we gotta do that show, man.
Dick found out.
They get into a fight.
He left.
Now for this one, we're gonna have to do this one live for real. We're gonna make that happen, doggone it.
There's a lot of hidden factoids about Bruce Wayne and Batman.
And I want to learn them because, man, this dude right here, man, he more than just throwing some batarang, bro. I tell you, man. This dude is insane. It's incredible, man.
All the things in his utility belt. He didn't have a condom.
Y'all gonna make me start buying back issues of Batman. You know, because I used to think Batman at one point was lame with what's his name playing Batman back in the day, Adam West. They had that Batman movie where he was in that helicopter and the shark grabbed hold of
shark repellent.
He grabbed hold of Robin's leg.
The '66 Batman movie, Lord.
The shark grabbed hold of Batman's leg. Now a great white
had the shark repellent.
And he said, "Quick, Robin, hand me the bat anti-shark repellent." That Joker pulled out a spice rack. Man, I'm telling you, I watched that movie. Hold up. I watched that movie, man, and we gotta get back on topic. But I watched that movie, man, in my preteens, and that one scene stood out above everybody. Man, Robin pulled out a spice rack. It had manta ray repellent. It had barracuda repellent.
Every
Piranha
fish in
repellent.
the sea.
Yes. I'm like, come
Batman.
on, man.
Because
Dude.
Batman is always prepared.
I'm telling you, man, I was too prepared. And he grabbed that shark repellent and sprayed the shark, and he just fell off his leg. I'm like, what?
But he wasn't prepared to the point to where, like, he ran with a bomb over his head for like 20 city blocks.
Trying to find a place to throw it away. Yeah.
20 city blocks, and the bomb didn't blow up.
We're also talking about a dude who faced a guy who had enough money to build a giant ass submarine that's shaped like a penguin. So I mean, you know, these things.
And went on to coach Rocky.
Well, I mean, you know,
Burgess Meredith was a man.
R.I.P. Burgess Meredith. But yeah, man,
Yep.
I mean, and Adam West. But yeah, man, I have a newfound respect for Batman. But yeah, we gotta make that show happen, man.
The Batman talk.
We might as well say R.I.P. the whole cast of that show.
For real.
Eartha Kitt's still alive, I think.
No, she's not.
No.
Eartha Kitt passed away a few years ago.
Burt Ward is still alive.
Yeah, Burt Ward's probably the only surviving.
Him and the other Catwoman.
Julie Newmar.
Aren't they the only two that's still alive?
I think so. Julie Newmar and Burt Ward are the only two. I think are the only two that are still alive from the.
Because I know the
Batman
Riddler
66.
passed.
Yeah, I know Burgess Meredith been dead for quite a while.
We know Cesar Romero. He's been gone for a while
Riddler
too.
was Frank Gorshin, wasn't it? Gershwin? Wasn't the Riddler Frank Gershwin or Gorshin?
I
It
do
sounds
believe
about
so.
right. It sounds about right.
Yeah, I watched it, man. I thought it was campy, but
I still routinely watch an episode from here to here, you know, from time to time, and it's, you know,
man, I ain't
Frank Gorshin was the Riddler.
But that time,
Go ahead, Al.
No, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say I own that entire series and I refuse to watch it again.
Hey man, I watched that movie just to see that anti-shark repellent, man.
I just type it in YouTube.
That took me out, man. That doggone spice rack, man. Like, come on, man. That's supposed to be cinnamon and cilantro, man. You pulling out mantle.
But he pulled it out of nowhere too. That's what made it worse.
Man, come on. They just went to a Kmart and just changed the labels. That's all they did. Anyway,
Lee Merriweather is still alive. She was one of the women who played Catwoman.
Right.
She is still alive.
Okay, cool. Well, basically getting back to Jason Todd after getting his ass beat. And
no stitches.
Not a one.
But then again, he probably didn't have like extensive damage. Like most of the stuff, I think what they did to him was purpose. They did what they did to him on purpose. They didn't intend to do any major damage to him.
They broke a bulletproof helmet.
Right, but they knew at that point that they weren't going to be able to do any damage to his brain. That's the reason why he got bruises all over his body. They didn't want to mess him up in the head again.
Yeah, but they didn't cut his skin at all.
Maybe that little cut above right here, that might have been the cut. No, I don't think that was.
He could have did that shaving.
Yeah. One of the things they don't talk about, I think, though, is that the Lazarus Pit may have given him a slight healing factor.
Oh.
Okay. I don't think it gave anybody a healing factor, though. It heals you, but I don't think it gave anybody a healing factor.
Jason be taking some beatings.
So does Bruce.
Yeah.
Well, Bruce's body shows the roadmap, though.
Right. You know what? Nightwing might be the only one who really don't get worked up like everybody else.
Acrobat, he know how to dodge.
They be doing cartwheels to get away.
Bruce wear all that armor and gear and stuff. He too heavy to move. He don't know how to dodge. Batman need to learn how to duck. Nightwing know how to get out the way.
Well, Jason Todd didn't get out of the way from that crowbar. So he finally wakes up and asks where he
thought he learned the first time.
Apparently he's not at his place, so he might be at Barbara's place. So he is at Barbara's place because we scroll down.
We see the wheelchair.
And we see the wheelchair. So yeah, he's at Barbara's place. So.
The stove-out wheelchair.
Right, man. Bruce couldn't even have sprung for the Xavier floating wheelchair. Look at this dirty.
Says she gonna learn today. But he
That's
see,
that county hospital donated wheelchair.
Exactly. That's it. We got that sitting that right in front of the door when you walk in the Best Buy right now.
this is a medical center of Central Georgia wheelchair right here. So, okay. So we skip to the wheelchair. He goes by. He sees some keepsakes that Barbara's keeping because of her recovery back from her deal with the Joker. So apparently, these calendar pages are in reference to her recovery, her rehabilitation. So she kept all of them as a keepsake. He's looking and he sees some books in reference to her convalescence and getting back to the way she needed to be, chronic pain management. He looks at that and he picks up that book or gets ready to pick it up, and then here comes Batgirl.
Like ain't nobody see her crawl through that window.
I didn't see a fire escape outside, so I don't know where she crawled into the window from.
She used one of them grappling hooks. That's what it was. We have to explain that kind of stuff when it's all panel because you don't really know. Like she just didn't.
She took Rorschach's grappling hook.
Yep.
Right.
That's what it was. So she's looking for Jason. Jason grabbed the pain management book and was reading it. This man is taking the liberty to take a shower. What kind of soap did he use?
He the only one that was considerate enough to take a shower.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm pretty sure she ain't got no old spice in there.
Man, after you almost get beat to death with a crowbar,
I
you
don't
probably
think he
don't.
care.
I don't think you mind smelling like flowers.
Victoria's Secret.
Right. He
Right,
probably would have got used some oatmeal if she had some, you know.
I personally would be okay with smelling like oranges and apple spice after getting beat up with a crowbar.
You know what, guys? I agree. I mean, and, moonlit path or whatever the hell that's
Right.
called. But yeah, I come out there smell like a daisy field.
I don't even care if I didn't get beat halfway to death. If I knew I stank, I don't care what it soap smell like. It smell better than must.
That's true.
I'm gonna be all right smelling like a Bath and Body Works.
Right.
Yeah. So he takes a shower. She thinks that he left, but he didn't. So I hope it's okay. I used the shower and I didn't mean to go through your things. Closet door was open and that book looked useful. She says it was. Asked him, is he okay? I don't think I've ever been okay.
That's a good answer.
And I think at that point, this particular panel, it makes her realize everything that led up to that point right there. You can see it in her face. I don't think she really realized and understood the pain that Jason Todd was going through. And I think in this particular panel right here, it finally clicked for her.
Mm-hmm.
Because she was thinking like, okay, well, yeah, he made it out. And, even though he was, damaged mentally, his actions caused him to be the way he is. But I think at that point in time, she really understood his plight and where he come from. And if you look at his back in this next panel, you're about to catch up with Bruce.
Right. It's one of the things I was thinking. That first panel shows you that clearly Barbara never really sees the physical. Well, one, she based off of how she's acted in this comic, in this story so far, you realize that Barbara doesn't realize the mental toll that doing this takes on Bruce and Jason.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you see her face when she sees his back, you can tell she's never thought about the physical toll that doing what they do takes on them. Like she doesn't, like when we, if you for those who watch the first video who have the book, if you go look back in the first book and you see her at the gym, Barbara's running. Barbara ain't got no bruises on her shoulders or on her arms. But when you think over the history of since Jason's come back and with Bruce, when you see them out of their outfits, out of their uniforms, you hardly never see Bruce in anything that's a short sleeve shirt or sleeveless.
Right.
Same thing with Jason, because they don't want to show the scars, because people are going to ask questions about billionaire playboy Bruce Wayne with, bullet wounds and scars all on his arm and everything like that. So they don't wear those kind of clothes. So nobody really sees that kind of stuff.
With no medical history.
Right, with no medical history to back up the story of how you ended up, bruised up like that. And you see Barbara right here, who's just like, man, I've never seen, that kind of the damage that this job does. Because all I got is, and don't get me wrong, not taking anything away from her, but getting shot and crippled. But
I got a bullet
she
hole.
right. Her damage and her scars are more mental, where Bruce and Dick and Jason and Tim take the more physical beatings with being the vigilantes that they are in the Bat family. And it kind of shows right there.
X.
Oh, I agree. It's she's always been coddled too. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's been so coddled. That's why they, like you said, they're the ones that are doing all the physical work because she never really had to because they were doing it. You know what I mean? Now, of course, she's fought people. Don't get us wrong when we say she doesn't fight. Clearly, in this book, she was fighting. In the last book, she was fighting, but she ain't fought nowhere near as many battles as everybody that he named: Bruce, Dick, Jason, Tim, even Damien.
Never seen a Killer Croc bite on Batgirl's arm.
Right. Ain't never seen a. Imagine how many acid burns Bruce has just from the Joker alone.
Man.
How many needle marks he has on him from Poison Ivy. You
Thorns.
know what I'm saying? Right.
Burns from acid from the Riddler.
And how many
claw marks from Man-Bat?
Not even Man-Bat, Catwoman.
Right. Claw marks from Catwoman, Man-Bat, Bronze Tiger. Bullet wounds from just thugs, sword marks from Shiva or Shuriken getting stabbed into him. Yeah.
Yeah, all she had is sitting on a uncomfortable cushion in her wheelchair. And I'm not making light of it, but you gotta think how many years she spent in that wheelchair while they were out there fighting. She'll never understand what they feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he actually alludes to in this second panel about what the Joker said about how I've been on the path to being like them for years. They're not wrong. I don't want to be like them, though. I really don't. And then he asked her, "Do you believe that, right?" And she says, "I'm willing to."
I won't. So
he asked her a question: calendar in your closet, the wheelchair, the books. Why keep it all? Doesn't it hurt to look at it? She says, no. I mean, it used to, but with healing, with the help of my dad, my physical therapist, and so many other people who were there for me, I try to look at the positive, a tragedy that I was able to literally walk away from thanks to the people that love me. And he says, yeah, I never got any of that. That's because we thought you were dead, Jason, including Bruce.
He's not wrong.
Yeah. By the time you were back, you recreated yourself as your own as the Red Hood. We all wish we had been there for you. He said, no one has ever said that to me. He looks very disconcerted and sad. Now, Barbara looking all wide-eyed, teary-eyed.
Right, like, what? No one's ever said that to you? Like, she's so shocked. Like,
so being vulnerable is a turn on to her.
Yes.
Apparently. She says, well, I'm saying it now. And she grabs his hand. They look at each other. They kiss.
Immediately regret it.
And then we shouldn't have done that.
Dick might not approve.
No pun intended.
Right.
The Jason's in, right? Man, all I gotta do is take this damn towel.
Right. I just gotta drop this. All I gotta do is let go.
The bed already messed up.
Right.
You know what a quick release is on your bat suit?
Right.
Go get in that shower right quick, girl. You know. Yeah. The body gel is on the counter. Anyway, they regret the kiss. We shouldn't have done that. I just wanted to let you know I care. By kissing them, okay.
There are other ways. Most people send fruit baskets.
Or just a hug.
Yeah, a hug. Pat on the back, you know.
A peck on the cheek.
Right. I never felt like anyone cared.
You kissed this man who naked.
Last night he was a
that is
murderer.
right. That's the epitome of a tease right there.
Maybe Barbara is bipolar.
She could be.
Because last night she was all, he's a murderer. We got to arrest him. He needs to go to jail. He gets beat up by the Joker, and she's just like, I just want to give it to him.
Right.
Like, what is?
Yeah.
Like, what is going on? I just want to fix him. Like,
yeah, that could be it too, because she probably see him as a project, so to speak. Because when you see her face in this third panel, it's like
I just kissed my brother.
Well, she looks a little bit disgusted, but at the same time, she's like, wow. The facial expression, or what I get from her, is that she didn't really effed up, because she didn't understand the guy. She didn't know the pain that this dude's been going through since he came back. But she's gonna assume just because he's in the Bat family that he's supposed to act a certain way or be a certain way. But like y'all been saying the whole night, she got. What happened to her with what the Joker did to her? Yeah, that's tragic. But you didn't die.
But did you die?
Right. You weren't resurrected, and then on top of that, you had a foundation and a base of people that you could rely upon, and he
tons of people.
He didn't. So,
and you had fatherly love.
Right, which is a huge thing. You had a family that was, nothing for nothing. Even if Jason hadn't have died, let's say Jason had to come back and Bruce had, we've seen how Bruce is. Bruce ain't the caring parent. Bruce wouldn't have been sticking around. There is no universe in which Bruce would have not gone out on patrol to sit by Jason's bedside at night to feed him bowls of chicken soup. There ain't no universe in which that would have happened.
Alfred would have been the one to
do it. Exactly. Bruce would have been like, is he okay? All right, then I'm going out to patrol.
Right. Do I need grabbing the thing on my way back?
Right.
No?
You need me to swing?
Okay.
You need me to stop by the Piggly Wiggly? Like,
Gotham Piggly Wiggly. Hoggly Woggly.
You ready, Miss Daisy? Like, it would have just been...
Oh, man. So, Barbara... basically is in a position where I guess she has a come to Jesus moment. I don't know, but she comes to the realization, I guess, that the situation with Jason was a lot more complex than what she thought. I'm assuming. So he basically says, she says it was only a moment, Jason. That's all it was. Which, and deep down inside, if she could have got that suit off quicker, they would be over in that bed. But that's all it was. He says, Barbara, so we need to get back on the case. The Joker's hurt enough people, and so have you. Really?
Now we remember. Really, bitch? Now we remember I'm a criminal? I'm a murderer? No, okay. Yeah, that's a dig. And so have you. Don't be mad at me because you had a moment of weakness and kissed me. Like that's what that was. Like,
you grabbed my hand.
Right. And I think she said that as a deflection because she wanted that kiss just as much as he did.
But by saying that, she pushes him away.
Right.
Because she puts that dig on him. But it's like, oh, you just wanted to let me know you cared, and now you apparently don't know more.
That's what you call the superhero friend zone.
The super friends.
Yeah. So apparently, looking at Jason's face in the next panel,
he looking at that booty.
Yeah, he was looking at that booty through that case. But he also probably felt let down because at that point he may have felt like he had some kind of breakthrough with her, but
he didn't.
She kicked him to the curb.
Thought they might have been actually connecting.
Right. Which that's a mistake. That and you know what? That might actually come back as a form of foreshadowing. This might be some foreshadowing to come from the
because Jason's really the only Robin that she has no connection with. Like even Damian, as much of an ass that Damian is, she on some levels respects Damian's intelligence and everything, and she's because of how smart Tim is, she connects with him, and of course she loves, Dick Grayson. So but Jason was the only Robin that she never really had any kind of connection with. He was a street urchin. Dad got killed by Two-Face. Mom was strung out on drugs. Got beat up by the Joker and killed or whatever. But he was always so full of anger. There was no common ground for them.
But he was also dead when she was around. So she really didn't know him at all.
Well, we fast forward to the Batcave.
Bruce doing what Bruce does.
Yep.
Working.
Prep time.
Looking at the Joker's teeth.
Which one am I going to knock out?
Right. Why has he seen an orthodontist?
Hey, man, think about it. Apparently, the Joker has like the greatest gums in the world.
Yeah.
Cause ain't not one tooth been knocked out over 3 people, and they knocked out 40+ teeth in 2 books.
Strong base.
Mm-hmm.
He brushes and flosses every day.
Every day.
4 times a day.
Multiple times a day.
So Batman is actually going over some video footage, various aspects of the Joker and things that he's done. And it's probably
that's the butter knife you use to cut dude's tongue out. Yep, that's the butter knife.
That's sadistic.
These are all scenes from the first
issue. Exactly. The video footage.
Those are the 3 red hood. Yeah, those are the 3 red hood that he put on the guys. The comedian that he cut the tongue out with the butter knife. The mobster. Yeah, this is all.
Okay. Video footage from each one. He has the Joker files, missing clowns, missing criminals. Pulls out the criminal folder, looks at the criminal. Looks at the dossier for each one of them, trying to figure out what's the deal with these cats. He's still pondering, looking at video, and he looks at the globe at Alaska. Then we get a dialogue box. It's chilly out here. You get it, chill. It's chilly. Then the laughter. Windows broken. Joe Chill is no longer there. We see his plaque on the ground. We see Joker laughter. We see that purple ice cream truck. First to warm up. Well, what do you want with me? Says Joe Chill. First to warm you up, Chill. You need your hat. Now it's lights, camera, action. Old 80s VHS camcorder.
Right. Isn't that the one Doc Brown had that Marty took back with him in the first Back to the Future?
Yep. It sure looked like it.
It's a Memorex camera. So he starts recording Joe Chill. Joe Chill's like, what? It's time to finally confess, Mr. Chill. Why did you really kill Thomas and Martha Wayne?
There's the $1 million question.
Then we get a couple of panels in the web of conspiracies. Who's the man behind the mask?
Rorschach comic.
Rorschach. So all this is advertisement. Gal Gadot.
Wonder Woman 84.
Wonder Woman stuff. That's the end.
And that is it. That is the end of book 2.
End of book 2. So we're left on a cliffhanger. Black Gate was stormed by the Jokers. Joe Chill was abducted by the Jokers. They're taking him to God knows where. Has stage 4 cancer. Don't know when he's gonna live. You know how long
he might not make it to the end of this panel.
Probably. Maybe the first few panels of the next book he might get got. You know.
Right. It's stage 4 cancer.
But this right here actually was very interesting, and it actually is more of a plot twist because I thought he killed Thomas and Martha Wayne because he was a petty criminal. Right. But apparently there's more to it.
That alludes to him killing them for a reason, that they were targeted, not just it wasn't a random killing.
Exactly.
but more that it was made to look like a random killing.
Right.
Is what that alludes to.
So,
But
yeah.
we gotta wait until hopefully next month, whenever the next issue drops, to find out when book 3.
Should be Wednesday.
Hopefully Wednesday.
Let us check. Hold on. I'm gonna put it up on the screen.
This is only 3 issues.
That's it. They're gonna answer all these questions in 3 issues.
So book number 1 was how many pages?
About the same.
Because this was 54. This book number 3 probably gonna be 100 pages. There's a lot of stuff they need to answer.
Right, just to get all the stories and everything. I do not see it anywhere.
I don't see it anywhere either. You know what? Because this has subscriptions and pre-orders. So let me check on the pre-order. If I get my mouse to work right, doggone it. So fellas, starting with you, X, what was your take on this particular book on part 2?
So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed book 1 slightly better, but I just what got it for me was when they finally got their hands on
next week.
Yeah, next Wednesday. But when they finally got their hands on Jason, you know what I'm saying? How everything is like the same way that book 1 ended, it was about Jason. Book 2 ending, it was about Jason. You know, I want to see how they're gonna end this up, how they're gonna end out the series. But I mean, I love it. The writing is amazing. They tell a great story in book 2 without having, as I said earlier, so much writing in it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like they actually let us paint the picture that we want to see, what that they want us to see on our own. So I love it how they did that. For a new book that has such a strong writing team behind it, yeah, that's amazing.
Cool. Well, I'm gonna go next. I'm gonna let you take up the rear. That didn't sound right. But I'm gonna let you.
Take up the reins.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you finish it off. Chris.
All right.
But as far as it goes, I enjoyed it, man. I think that last panel, my 2 biggest takeaways from this particular book was the whole issue. They've kind of planted the seeds in reference to Jason Todd. So will he or won't he? In my eyes, because it's apparent what the 2 Jokers want, and they want Jason Todd to take up the mantle of the Joker. At least that's what it looks like to me. If it's not that way, then that's a hell of a swerve. But because of the fact that they have gone through everything they've gone through to try to sway him, which I think that whole interaction in the YMCA was part of the psychological brainwashing to get Jason to become one of them. I'm really interested to seeing if that's going to be the case, or if that's just a red herring, or if there's a whole nother swerve. The second issue is the whole Joe Chill thing. If Joe Chill was more, like you said, Chris, if he was more than just a petty criminal, and if there was a reasoning behind why he did what he did, what would be that reason? And then on top of that, who will put him up to do what he did? And why would they put him up to do what he did? So those are questions that I'm eagerly looking for an answer. And like I told y'all when we did book 1, book 3 gonna be about 2. It gotta be about 300 pages, man. Like, I mean, because it's just, to me, I hate the fact that this book is only a 3-book series. I do. Because there's the story, in my opinion, is so engrossing. These are the kind of stories that when you read them, And I mean, I've read them. Like, I'm gonna give you an example. I don't know if you felt this way, Chris, but when I read House of X and Powers of 10, the way I felt about that series when Jonathan Hickman brought that back is the same way that I feel about Batman 3 Jokers. It was new, it was refreshing, and even though I don't have the mileage as far as being a Batman reader as you and X has, I feel like I've invested enough time in reading Batman books to where this book actually, it drew me in. And it was like, I want to know more because, you know, I matter of fact, I remember, if memory serves me correctly, you were still working at, I was still in McDonough and you were working at Animazing Escape when they released that book, saying, and when he went into the Mobius chair,
Yeah.
and there was the 3 Batmans and stuff. Matter of fact, I think we talked about it one day. I came up there.
Yeah.
And go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, it was definitely the talk of everybody when the Mobius chair told Batman that there were 3 Jokers.
Right. And that in itself, and I know at that point I wasn't really reading Batman. I really started reading Batman stuff around the time when the Dark Metal series came out. But then I ended up buying Harleen, which I haven't read, still haven't read that yet, and a few other Batman books, White Knight. And I got to a point where I really started liking Batman. I started liking his stories, and the 3 Jokers is no exception. I mean, I think it's very well written. Jeff Johns, I mean, he's a beast with the pen anyway. Just by everything that he's written that I've read, I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I hated to see him leave Shazam, even though Shazam is about to end next month. So, but I'm looking forward to it, man. And I'm hoping that the payoffs that we expect aren't just, and I don't think they will be because Jeff Johns not that type of writer.
Right.
But I'm hoping that the payoffs that we see actually leads to more questions than answers, to the point to where it opens up the door for additional material and content to be put out. You know what I'm saying? Because this whole thing with this 3 Jokers, man, it's fascinating. And I know X brought up something in the conversation earlier where, you know, that particular panel that we got to where the Joker's eyes got real small and stuff, and how he like zoned out.
The pin drops.
Yeah. That in itself, man, is intriguing to find out. Okay, so if these individuals have been operating as Joker this whole time, and they share the same consciousness in terms of history and things that have happened, how is it that they're able to share this? If that's the case, that in itself is worthy enough for a whole nother book, you know? So I'm really looking forward to this 3rd book, man. And like I said, I don't want it to end, man. I wish they could actually, you know, and I mean, if the story doesn't warrant it, that's fine. But I wish they'd had enough story to at least go another 4 or 5 issues. But it is what it is, man. But I'm thoroughly enjoying it, man. I'll probably end up reading this one again before we actually have our do our 3rd video. So I'm actually done. So I'm gonna give you the floor, Chris, and I'll let the folks know what you think, man.
I appreciate it, Al. You're right. Like I am on the fence about whether or not it's a good thing that it's only 3 books versus whether it should be a little bit more, because, you know, we've all seen comics that start off really, really great and then they kind of fizzle because the story you can tell the writers get to a point where they don't know how they should make the story end, so they just make it end.
Right.
And the ending doesn't seem to entirely fit, or in the case of some stories where the story has gone on so long that the guys who started writing it aren't the guys who finished writing it. And so the story takes that separate end, you know. So them doing 3 books, I'm okay with, because they're giving me a really amazing story in these 3 books. You know, I'm not just getting, you know, some BS story thrown at me just to get it out of the way. And, you know, and again, I'm also glad that they didn't attempt to do this story, even though it is a part of the main DC Universe continuity. They didn't attempt to do this story in the main Batman comic books. They put it on the Black Label that is intentionally meant to be for more mature readers. So that gives them that leeway to make the story, more graphic. Because this is the kind of story with the history that it entails, with the things, the violence in itself that this story talks about. It needs that room to be able to explore the after effects of that violence, because there's no need to actually show it to talk about it, but you have to. This book is all about dealing with the recovery from it, and that recovery from it is not always, sugar coated in sunshine. Sometimes it's dark, it's mean, it's gritty, and people end up with bullets in their head, like the Joker did. And so the fact that they went ahead and put it on Black Label so that they would have that room again is just one of those things that I love that they did. And as far as Jeff is concerned, like I've liked, like you, Al, I've liked everything Jeff has done. When I see his name on a book, it's pretty much a guaranteed sell. Like, I'm gonna be buying that book regardless, unless somebody who's doing the art and I just can't deal with the art, and for some reason his writing doesn't save it. Like, I will always pick up a Jeff Johns book because I know it's like a stamp of approval. That seal is right there. It's like, boom, boom, this is going to be a good story. Green Lantern Rebirth, Flash Rebirth, amazing stories. As far as the story itself, there is so much that, it's so interesting that the story is about the three Jokers, and that we're learning about how each Joker is different: the criminal, the comedian, the clown. And each book, it has a different Joker on its cover, but each book in itself kind of has its own identity. Like X was talking about, the first book, we went deep dive in all the Easter eggs that were in that first book in almost what seemed like every panel. Whereas with this book, it's more of a visual story as opposed to a literal story, where they're using the words to give you what they want. They want you to see. It's visual. They need you to be grounded in the world of the story, in the world of Gotham and Batman and the Joker and everybody. And so they give you these panels that come to life almost, so that way you can feel like you're actually in this story. So that way you can feel the environment that you're around. And so it gives this book a completely separate identity from the first book, which makes me entirely anxious to see what the third one's going to be like. Because I'm assuming it's gonna have its own identity as well, and be either a mix of the two or be something entirely different that we have no idea about. The amount of stuff that they have to answer in the third one is, like you guys said, it's gonna have to be 3-digit pages in order to, or it's gonna have to either 3-digit pages, or those panels are gonna be so packed with information that you're gonna have to read it multiple times to be able to get everything and digest everything that they're trying to put at you. It's almost kind of like I feel like the three Jokers just so far, even just these two books, is almost like a masterclass in comic book storytelling.
Yeah.
You have a combination here that you rarely come across, and that you have amazing art, you have amazing story, and the story that you're given not only gives you all these new and interesting ideas, but it gives you these new and interesting ideas based off of all of this history and mythos that you know and cherish about the characters you're reading. So that's my take.
Cool. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the consensus of book 2 is pretty much the same as it was for book 1.
Go read it if you haven't read it.
Yeah. If you haven't, I mean, it's always good to watch these kind of videos, but in this particular scenario, I strongly suggest that these books 1 and 2 be read, especially considering that book 3 is coming out next week. And I don't think you'll be disappointed, because like I said, us discussing it and going over it panel to panel, it's cool and I enjoy it. But just reading the books, I mean, we were so excited about it. If you watched the first video, we were going to try to do both books in the same video.
That first book was just so deep.
Ooh, that first book, boy, I'm telling you, man, it was like the Dead Sea Scrolls of comics. But but I mean,
like he said, every time we turn around a new panel, we saw something.
Yep. And it's it, man. That was it. That book was an enjoyable read, and this one right here actually just heightened up the intensity and the atmosphere of everything. And pretty much just like the Joker's looking on this book, it makes you think, and it's got you thinking, and it'll make you think about what's gonna happen in this third book. So I'm looking forward to it. So our next show, well, this is probably going to air later on this week because we got to send it off to Matt for editing and everything. But we hope to have the last video. We hope to have a live stream on that one, and if so, we'll post it on the IG page, and we'll also put a reminder, like a preview for an upcoming show on the Comic Hall channel on YouTube. So we have enjoyed it, and I've enjoyed hanging out with X and Chris doing this, and it's been a blast so far. So you know, that third book, man, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man, I get that book. That's probably gonna be the only book I read that day.
Right, the day it dropped.
I'm definitely gonna read it
about 2 or 3 times that day. And then, of course, before we do the next video or show. So
I might sit down and read it in the shop.
Right.
And you know what? I did that for that Deceased Planet, the last one that came out. So, but folks, we're about to close, bring this particular video to a close. If you are new to the Comic Hall and Roundtable discussion, just subscribe. We got plenty of content. We're trying to add more content to the channel. We got a few haul videos coming. Hopefully Chris can do some videos with some of the Lego stuff that he's working on. We want to put a diverse array of material out there and content. So we'll have some information and content that everybody or the majority of people can dig. So if you are a subscriber to the channel, let somebody know. Share.
Hook them up.
Sharing is caring, you know.
Yeah. Share the information. Share the wealth.
Yeah, sharing is caring. Chris, he has a podcast, Outcast United, right, Chris?
Yep, Outcast United. You can listen to it pretty much everywhere you listen to podcasts. Apple, Google, you know. And then you can also find us on Instagram under Outcast United and on Facebook also under Outcast United. So
you can find us on Instagram collectively as Comic Hall Roundtable Discussion.
Yep.
And, that's where we are pretty much. So, but yeah, we're about to close this out. Any parting words before we dip?
Read the book.
Like, subscribe, and share.
What they said: like, subscribe, likes.
Like, scribe.
Like, subscribe, like, subscribe, and share, and read the book. Please read them, because if we could do this, the last one, if we could do a live stream, one more.
Reading is fundamental.
Wednesday, and hopefully we can get some participation. So, but with that being said, my name is Al.
I'm Chris.
I'm X.
And we wish you a good night, and we hope you enjoy the video. Y'all take it easy. Peace.